Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. We are here playing as the Iberian Union. We have actually hit the #1 spot, just barely. Just barely. Mostly due to our building up a giant navy, which we're in the process of continuing to build up. So, what else are we up to? We are passing a presidential republic. We're enacting a presidential republic, which may very well send our car lists up into being rebellious, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Right now, trade privileges for investment rights. Let's negotiate. I don't wish to give you trade privileges. Or wait, hold on. I don't wish to give you trade privileges. So 25, 87% chance they'll say yes for nothing. Let's do it. Now, quick look at the market. We're still a little short on, beautiful. On engines. Oh, and bureaucracy, it turns out. Are one of our interest groups big mad? No, doesn't seem like it. Alright. Is there anywhere where I'm short on taxation capacity? There isn't, so we're going to hit the button that slows the game down. Oh, it didn't slow the game down that much. No, we'll just sort by taxation capacity. Now these places are incorporated. Let's build up Beira and Alta and the... Hold on. Hey, we're in drafting for the Republic. Excellent. This one... Oh, this is in our, in the country. Alright. Cool. We'll build another level here just for funsies. Get a nice even amount there. And then we need some more, motor industries. So let's build those up. Where have we got motor industries already? We actually don't have that many levels. Castilla Nueva, not that much labor available. Alta Andalusia, not that much labor available. Extremadura, we'll do a few more. Entre Douro and Minho, oh, plenty of labor available here. And infrastructure. We could build way up. There we go. Big ol' motor industries. Huge increase in motor industries. Now here's hoping. Should have checked first. Yeah, they're fully loaded. they're all fully employed. So that's good. I definitely need to increase my fine art output. Let's go to recoil mechanisms. This is going to cost some oil. But I think we got oil in the market. Hold on, let me check. Actually don't. We're bringing in quite a bit from trade centers. Where have we got oil rigs? That's the question. Because I know we got them somewhere. Ooh, franchising, nice. But not here in the list. You know, I could be using significantly more profitable production methods in my tobacco plantations if I powered them. Seems like I can do this in areas where they are powered. Which is not going to be that many, because I haven't built up a lot of power anywhere other than in Iberia. Let's take a quick look at that now that we've changed that and make sure that I completely forgot which places they were. These were Extremadura, and Beira. So in here in, and let me see. Power plants are fully running. Electricity supply is good to go. Tobacco plants are still fully employed. Very good. And then Beira. We have a shortage of electricity. Alright, that's fine. It's not by much, though. Power plants are subsidized. Let's go ahead and throw these in at the front of the queue. And feminism is unlocked. Excellent. Now this means... we should be able to... Yeah, we should be able to enact women's suffrage as soon as the Republic is complete. So that's very good. How many more weeks on the cathedral? Okay, very close. And then... Let's see. What else does our market need? Oh, you know what? There are better production methods for a lot of places where I don't have power built up. Let me see. So Gold Coast, I can go to molds. That costs iron, but it makes them produce more. Eastern Mali, I'll do the same. Mozambique, same thing. Benin, and Ivory Coast. Yeah, we're good. They're not profitable, but they're better. Lectors, interesting. And then we're doing standard labor, which we have to do because of our labor laws. So that's fine. Now, tea plantations, we only have the one set of methods. We should be able to go to... Or no, we can't. Not until pump jacks. Now, what about coffee? We are producing coffee. We've got mechanical dryers and patio drying. And it seems like... So, let's see. It's tools and engines. Yeah, it seems like it's more productive with mechanical, generally speaking. Oh, here we go. And then we got the wet process and the wet process with mechanical pulping. Let's go to wet process mechanical pulping. That seems right, generally speaking. We'll use the most high-tech means available. And then... Do I do rail transport? I don't think so yet. But I am going to enable rail transport... I don't know what's going on with that. I am going to enable rail transport for my mines. Generally speaking, mines are much more profitable with rail transport. Plus, we're going to save a lot of labor that way. And Steam Donkey... Oh, I haven't invented Steam Donkey yet. Oh, man. What about vineyards? Are you better with rail transport? You definitely are. Rice farms. Let's go to soil enrichment farming and harvesting tools. I don't know how those were not... That's weird. Why would they be? Why would they not be fully... Oh. I got Nova Goa. I think. Yeah. Oh, well, I already did all the ones there. Alright. Let's see. Unfinished masterpiece. Unfinished but not abandoned. Construction for the Sagrada Familia Cathedral continues, even as the architect who originally designed for the grand plans for the temple has passed away. His successor will take over, so construction does not suffer a period of neglect. There is no reason to regret that I cannot finish the church. I will grow old, but others will come after me. What must always be conserved is the spirit of the work, but its life has to depend on the generation it is handed down to, and with whom it lives and is incarnated. Antoni Gaudi. His legacy will live on. It requires pneumatic tools, extra arts academy throughput for 5 years. 5% of academics pops in Catalonia become more loyal. Have we got pneumatic tools at this point? We're working on military. We do not. We're actually not finished out of Tier 3 yet. But more gaming's quite good. And then we can swap over to, I think unfortunately we've kind of been outrun by Britain over here. But, you know, it's hard. It's hard because we don't have, our innovation cap is quite high. And we are still getting some extra spread, but we started very far behind with a smaller economy than many. Motor industries are producing now. So what else? We're still bringing in a lot of oil. Oh, we don't have pump jacks. I'm not quite as far ahead in the game as I often feel like I am. Maybe we'll circle back through the tier 4s in production before we make a run at malaria prevention, because I feel like that's not exactly that great. Well, we've only got a few more in social. Nah, we'll do it. We'll do it. We'll keep doing what we're doing. We'll keep doing what we're doing. Okay, what's going on here? An Assam uprising. You better not be doing communism over there. Right, and there's Bengal, and I'm rival to Bengal now, right? Yes. Her rival and neighbor. It's interesting. That's very interesting. And then there's a radical revolt happening in the Ottoman Empire. Ooh, so the question is... If I supported the radicals, would Britain fight me? You're a universal suffrage parliamentary republic. You like protected speech. You have a national guard. You do have slave trade. You, on the other hand, are an autocratic monarchy with censorship. I'm gonna support the radicals. I'm gonna support the radicals. Sorry, just checking on this. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm going to support the radicals. I'm going to send... Oof, where are my armies? My armies are all somewhere else. Let's bring all of these fellas back to Iberia. And I think we'll bring up just our smaller forces. Including the IXF. Put one of them on the front here. And we'll put one on the front here. And then we'll put another one on the front here to make sure that we've got a rock solid foundation. And then... Ooh. Feared but not loved. This is a very good event. Garwal, owing us an obligation, could be used to request a propaganda campaign making the world see our nation in a more pleasant light. It is well for a nation to be respected, feared even, but can we truly expect them to support us in the future if most Garwali children grow up hearing stories about how we'll eat them if they don't behave? Everyone should remember how he came to their aid. We send them a message if they accept my infamy goes down by 10. Or why, when we are a nation to be feared, no effect. I'm going to do the first one. Hopefully I can get an infamy reduction out of this. If I can't, then it is what it is. Alright, looks like nobody stepped in to intervene in Ottoman politics except for me. So this should be very good. Let's go ahead and bring our fleet to bear in this whole situation. We got some fellas on blockade and some fellas on convoy raiding, so that should be just fine. I don't think this is going to cost us all that much money long term. And come on. And there's an event. Discord within the rural folk. Interesting. An influential faction within the rural folk has grown frustrated with their co-members' neutrality on the topic of the presidential republic. Themselves in favor of the law, they've now resolved to form a separate political faction intent on passing it. How can you all stand idly by and watch the world pass before your eyes? Have you no sense of honor, of duty to your fellow man? I say nay to such lack of ambition, and I dare say I am not alone in this. With their support, the bill shall pass. They get much stronger. Or we get a bunch of enactment success chance, and the rural folk get a little weaker. Or the industrialists extend an open hand to these mavericks. Industrialists stronger, rural folk much weaker, not as much enactment success chance. The industrialists are not in the government right now. I don't necessarily want to make them stronger, so I'm just going to pick the first one. That's going to get us up to a nice even 56% enactment, and that's fine. Now, we still have some subjects doing heckin' slave trade, which I don't like. So let's get them off of that thing. And there's the steam donkey. So we'll fix up our mines in a minute. That's right, Santo Domingo. You've banned slavery. Good, or you're working on anti-strike laws. Ooh, excellent. Good for you, Venezuela. Peru, Bolivia, you've banned slavery. You do have anti-strike laws. You're working on laissez-faire economy, and that's just fine with me. Argentina, you have legacy slavery. Reduce the speed here, because we got a bunch of things happening. Secession in Dixie. A Confederate... Oh! Oh, look at this. The USA is having the American Civil War in 1897. That's exciting. What is this? Oh, that's an invasion. The Devil's Paintbrush. General Jose Maria de Valla's use of dedicated machine gun teams in the Ottoman Radical Revolt versus Ottoman Empire War has yielded advantageous results on the field of battle, leaving full platoons of enemies dead before they've even reached our lines. If anyone had told me that it would be possible to make a gun that would pull a cartridge belt into position, pull a loaded cartridge out of it, move it in front of the barrel, thrust it into the barrel, close the breech in a proper manner, cock the hammer, pull the trigger, fire off the cartridge, extract the empty shell, and throw it out of the mechanism, feed a new cartridge into position, and do all these things in the 10th of a second, I would not have believed it. But now I have seen it with my own eyes. Whatever happens, we have got the Maxim gun and they have not. Very famous line. I want to say from Rudyard Kipling, but nobody... If it's not Rudyard Kipling, put it in the comments. Devaya is a market liberal aligned with the landowners. I don't necessarily want him getting that much better. Or as master of the tools imperiled, he becomes a stalwart defender. I'm just going to pick the first one because I want his bonus to be temporary. Although, the war I'm most likely to fight him in is the war over a presidential republic, so maybe that was dumb. But it looks like the Carlist movement actually isn't going to pop off with less than 3% support, with less than 5% support, so I might have lucked out on that. Alright, we're trying to liberalize the subjects. Argentina, you're an autocracy. You're doing legacy slavery. Sir? Please vote. Excellent. Chile, you're doing a parliamentary republic. That's fine. You've got slavery banned already. Yep, you're working. Tawantinsuyu, you have the same laws that I do. So that's fine for now. New Grenada, you're only a protectorate, so I can only change your church and state, which is fine. Argentina is enacting universal suffrage. Beautiful. Costa Rica. You've got slavery banned. You've got corporatized unions. You don't yet have women's suffrage. Is there anything more urgent than women's suffrage? I'm currently doing free censorship, so it would be hypocritical of me to say you can't have censorship. But you also have the rural folk in government. What if you did homesteading? Let's do it. They're doing it. Wonderful. That's very good. Much better than tenant farmers. Now what about you folks? You have guild system. You're headed up by your Catholic church. Why don't you go to right to associate? Significant stall chance. That's interesting. I'm going to hold on that for now while I take a look at other stuff. House of National Lincoln. Nice. On the other hand, I can get you to a better taxation law. No, because their economy is probably not that big. Yeah, you know what? What about just anti-strike laws? That would be 15 and 12, whereas right to associate would be 15 and 9. You can get going somewhere at least a little better. Now, Honduras. You also have a guild system. You have slavery banned, very good. You have right of assembly, that's good. Freedom of conscience, that's rock solid. You're on mercantilism. Forcing you to do free trade would be so hypocritical of me. But you would be able to do it. No, forcing a small country to do, that's your puppet, to do free trade is basically like bolting their economy to yours. Let's go to let's see if we can get them their right to associate. Oh, we absolutely can. Get out of here with that guild system. They defer it. Okay. Now Guatemala, you have combination acts, which isn't great. You do have slavery banned. You have regulatory bodies. Let's see... Oh, that's a tough one. What about anti-strike laws? Anti-strike laws is much better. Let's do it. And Mexico. Mexico, my friend. You're doing wealth voting from landed. That's fine. That's a fine place to be going. And then finally, Cuba. You have slavery banned. You have combination acts. You're a colonial administration. Why don't you go to right to associate? Puerto Rico. You're doing just fine on most things. You don't have a healthcare system. Then again, I don't want to be a burden on your economy. I could make you restrict child labor. Ooh, actually, regulatory bodies. Let's do it. Your Catholic Church would absolutely be for that. So that's good. Now, the situation in America. I'm not involved because I don't have an interest or something. It's I say or something like it's in doubt. I don't think it's really in doubt. It's that I don't have an interest. Ottoman Empire. I think they were my rival at one point, but they're not, I don't think they are anymore. Damn, a lot of countries doing slavery still. Unconscionable, unconscionable, I say. Alright. Actually, Morocco. I haven't been intervening in your internal politics much, Morocco. It's getting to be time. Whew! Hard sell. Wargaming unlocked. Very good. Why don't you go to universal suffrage? Oh, that's a hard one. Oh, you're really goobered. You're a landowner's capture state. How do I get you out of that? Go to homesteading. Become a rural folk capture state. They're doing it. They're doing it. If they keep at it, they'll have a civil war, and then I can shoot at their landowners. Now, Sokoto, you're still doing heckin' slave trade. Oh man, that's tough. That's tough. Oh, you're also an autocracy. You, start voting. Vote. Vote harder than you've ever voted before. Wonderful. So from here... Oh, and Oceania has become Oceania again. Excellent. I say again as though they were before, but I feel like they were. This is a country that is Oceania-esque. All right. Let's get running here. This war should be over pretty soon with a victory for the radicals. Defeat admitted. Jose Maria Villata's arguments have been publicly defeated, forcing him to turn his gaze to more advantageous things. Oh, very well. I dare say you shall be the death of me, you silver-tongued devil. Just like that. Just like that. As it is useless to fight a river's current, so it is with wise counsel. Celebrations are in order. Stronger and happier trade unions, 10% enactment success chance. Or run a line to the papers now. Extra popularity for Pose and Villota, and less enactment success chance. I'm going to do the first one. That just seems reasonable. And after that, it's straight into women's suffrage. The League of the Golden Fleece has been formed by Austria. Oh, the Metternich system got destroyed because all the countries that it consisted of are no longer extant. That's so funny. They're a sovereign empire now, consisting of just Krakow. That's very funny. That's extremely funny, in my humble opinion. Austria, are we still allies? We sure are. We sure are. We're allied as heck. Wonderful. Well, this is still a front. Dang. I'm gonna bring my major army back. I can't. Bring them back to Iberia. I genuinely think that this front is completely handled. Is handled in all ways that matter. I'm gonna fight maybe one more battle. and then peel out before a surrender gets them locked in. It shouldn't be doing that, but I think the game kind of has a little bit of a thing going on with that. There we go. We're pursuing. They're dug in. How could they possibly resist us? Now, bringing this army off of here. Yeah, that front is still thoroughly handled. All right, perfect. So, and then this front is we're still sort of chowing down on more states over here. Ottoman Karadag, we're getting there. Yeah, 75% held. And the war is nearly over. So that should be just fine. Let's take a quick look more at the market. Interesting. Motor industries are still quite producing, and I need to produce more art. Let's produce more art. Let's keep that keep the good times rolling. Where are our arts academies? Here they are. Let's see. There were some places I need to build a new arts academy in Portugal, or start expanding an existing one. Let's expand this one by 5 levels. And then we'll build a new one. In what was formerly Portugal. Again, this is the button that freezes the game. I don't know why I keep thinking I can press it and everything will be chill. Good amount of labor available in Anse Duro e Minho. So we'll build up there, and we'll build up 10 levels in Beira. That's a really significant increase in our arts output, but we are exporting quite a bit of art. Let's take a quick run at our trade capacity screens and make sure they're doing well. Yes, well, Beira could use more. We'll throw 6 levels in there. Entre Duro e Minho, that looks fine. Alright. And let me just go through all the ones that was formerly Spain. Did Galicia lose some trade levels? Not sure. You're going up to 15. You're good. You are going to get 10 more trade levels. Castilla Vieja, you're good. You're good. Aragon, you're fine. Catalonia, you're fine. Valencia, you're just fine. Murcia, you're good to go. Castilla la Nueva, you're actually at capacity, so we'll throw an additional 15 levels in there. Alta Andalusia, you still need way more. 20 more levels. Baja Andalusia, you're close. Extremadura, you're fine. Alright, beautiful. I'm going to build up... Nope, I don't need to build up anything there. Ansecho is just fine. They're just fine. Let's throw these arts academies actually at the bottom of the queue, because trade centers build really fast. And that'll make it easier for me to figure out how much of my queue I'm actually using. The Ottoman Civil War is nearly done. And there she goes. Turkiye. And this army's marching home. Beautiful. Turkiye. Let's be... Let's be better friends, Turkiye. I don't think I need to mobilize too many armies. I'm simply going to mobilize the first army and one of my home guards, and then I'll invade. And it'll be just fine. This is very funny. I can't believe this is working. Perhaps I should break... No, I don't need to break that. Perhaps I should break some of this territory off. Ooh. I could transfer all their subjects to me. So this is... Ah. And by all their subjects, I mean just Serbia. Because they're only subject to Serbia. Yeah. We'll transfer Serbia. We'll make that primary. And we will, I can liberate country. If I liberate Iraq, that would be most of this area. Oh, I could liberate Kurdistan. But then I wouldn't be able to liberate Iraq. It's a shame, because Kurdistan would get a lot of territory. Dang. Do I want to liberate Iraq? Why would I want to liberate Iraq? So they could be a separate puppet. You know what? No, I don't wish to. I'm gonna try to not dismember Turkiye. I didn't dismember Mexico either. Now what's going on over here? Another situation. Prussia sides the two systems. Okay. Austria's calling on us as their ally. I must accept. So that means I'm going to mobilize the rest of my armies. Let's go ahead and throw the Second Iberian Army onto the front of Prussia. Two Sicilies has formed a supreme alliance. Cool. Brazil has sided with the two Sicilies. Oh! But I can't throw a separate war goal in here because I'm not the primary. Which is fine. I'm going to put the Iberian Expeditionary Force. You're smart, Brazil. You got yourself a longer... truce. That was clever. That was smart of them. Greek island backs down against Britain. I don't know what that's about. Well, two Sicilies, I don't know what to tell you. I had an alliance. Although I guess them's the breaks. The Zambezia eruption. A violent eruption is shaking the state of Zambezia. Fragments of tephra and volcanic ash have destroyed buildings and crops, taking the lives of some of our people. The dense column of smoke was followed by a clear explosion. Shepherds who worked at the base of the mountain aimlessly turned their eyes at the now bright and cleared cloud. The landslide came after. We can't predict an eruption, tend devastation, or our people need us. Costs a pile of cash. We can't predict an eruption. Sorry if that's harsh. But them's the breaks. So now the question is, do I pull Austria into this? And I don't think I do, because that'll give them a war goal, and I don't wish them to have a war goal. I feel confident in my ability to navally invade Turkiye without a problem. I'm going to finish my construction and then stop building for a bit. This shouldn't take too long at all. We're still on iBanks for tech. Whew, this is really taking its sweet time. Well, I guess my entire network of subjects is mobilizing, so them's the breaks. Oceania, what are you doing with your laws? I should look at that. Ah, you're fine. You're doing landed voting, that's not great. France is damaging relations. Gosh dang it. France, how could you do this to me? You. Start voting. Vote more. They're enacting it. Nice. Beautiful. I'm going to set this army's strategic objective to be... Oh. Can't do that until the war starts. Never mind. Instead, let's do a naval invasion using the 1st Iberian Army. In the capital. Oh my goodness. Their leader died. Oh, that's very bad. Alright. We got a trade unions guy here, a Social Democrat. You're in charge. I know you've never led an army before. You're now leading the most important army. Let's invade somewhere else using the Global Defense Force. Let's invade into Celia. And what will happen here is we'll get that front started and we'll see kind of what becomes of that. Now, this other... I don't know what's going... Austria's in a separate war. Austria's in a separate war with France over some other nonsense. And this is a war between Gojam and Walega, which is not my business whatsoever. Yes. I should have absolved their thing. Excuse me? The Bohemia front is undefended. What could possibly... Oh, cripes. These two wars have, like, merged or something. Some chicanery has occurred. Austria? You're in a war with France, and it's not going great. And Russia? Yeah, and Russia. And you're going to be pushed out of it pretty soon. But there's a lot of sickos getting involved in this whole situation at this stage. So how is this going? Let's see how our first battle goes. It looks like we are winning against the Ottoman, against Turkiye. They're not the Ottoman anymore, they're Turkiye. Let's bring in actually our home guard force over here. Just to speed this along. And there is our presidential republic. Beautiful. Isabel de Borbon's reign has ended. She ruled the country basically since the beginning of the game, in 1836. Our new leader is President Pablo Iglesias Pose. He is the leader of the Social Democratic Party. And yeah, that's all there is to it. All right. Time to let ladies vote. Is this going to make someone mad? Maybe. Well, the monarchists or the armed forces are salty. They're not salty about letting women vote, though, right? They're not. They don't care about that. Alright, I think the other war ended. Yep, the other war ended. So now we've just got one nice clean front here. And two in Brazil as always. Hey, let's designate their capital as the strategic objective. I'm not going to fix my authority issue. It's not that bad. It's not causing that many problems. I've become purple. How did this happen? Oh, I changed government types and now I'm purple. Based. Nice. Oh, yeah. I wonder what would happen if I changed up my stuff. Creative legislature is still good. Sacred civics is still really, really good. Foreign investment, still pretty good. External trade's still good. Yeah. Gangster influence from trade centers? Heck yeah. How are our battles going in here? We're trying to take over Schleswig, which we are doing. Does Austria have war sport protection due to... Yeah, we're good. We're good with that. That's right. This is all about the two Sicilies. That's very funny. Alright, so we've landed our invasion, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to pull the first home guard back to Iberia, and we're going to bring first Iberian army to the front. I seem to have become short of bureaucracy as well. We're hitting an event Let's just go ahead and build up some of the former Portuguese states. I built a railway instead of a second trade center. Don't need to do that. And we got an event, the art of doing nothing. Though previously opposing the women's suffrage laws, Jose Piquero has considered the trade union's political position and instead offers support. While speaking with constituents on matters of law, one must first master the art of appearing to do nothing. You do everything behind whispers and masked men? Indubitably. Welcome their support. Stronger trade unions and Catholic Church. 10% enactment success chance. Or keep a sharp eye, they're out to something. Piquero loses some popularity. Ooh, I do want to keep the Catholic Church weak. I'm actually going to do the second one. He's the Luddite leader of the Catholic Church. That's interesting. I've never had an occasion to pick that second one, but now I'm sort of seeing what it's about. We're going to set the strategic objective for this army, which is almost full of organization, to the capital of Turkiye. And a far national awakening in Atreya. Nice. So, I could grab the Iberian Global Defense Force and do a naval invasion of Prussia, or I could grab them and do a naval invasion of the Kingdom of the Two Sicilies. And I think that second one is going to be what's on the agenda. But before I do that, I'm going to wait till this line disappears, showing that this army is on its front. Alright, beautiful. Now, because if we can naval invade the Two Sicilies, for example, via Sicily, that war is going to sort itself out real fast. Infertile grounds. Finding both the Iberian public and supposed political allies unreceptive to his ideas, frustrated, Jose Piquero has decided to retire from the realm of politics, opting instead to spend the rest of his life penning embittered reflections on what could have been. I give these bumpkins the truth, and how am I rewarded? With deafening silence. And they call Madrid a city of ideas, of culture. The only evidence of cultivation I found in that cesspool of a city came from the fields outside of it, and even they were cared for poorly. Good riddance to you all, I say, sirs. Good riddance to you all. Let him peddle his ideas in peace away from Madrid, a slightly stronger Catholic Church. He retires from politics and settles domestically. Or politely inform him his presence is unwanted in the Iberian Federation. He bails out. We're going to do the second one. It's going to piss off the Catholic Church just a little, but they're already pissed off minus 20, and, you know, it's fine. There's nothing I can do about that. Except restore the monarchy. But, you know, I'm not going to do that. I don't desire to have a monarchy. And I think anyone who knows anything about my situation can see why. Why are there two Badens? There's Baden, and then there's Baden. They're both in the Baden market. Are these the same market? 167 wood. 414 wood. They're not. Switzerland, how did you become Baden? South German? What is happening? Baden, how could you? Oh, man. That's very silly. Oh my goodness, Serbia's in a civil war. Am I going to need to get involved in this? I think I am. But not yet, right? Let me see. I am winning my invasion of Sicily, so I might be able to get this war just sort of finished straight out. These fronts have merged, so we're winning in Brazil. That's fine. Well played, Brazil. You've staved me off another time. Oh my. The Gujarati national movement. Well, them's the breaks. Ooh, investment banks. Extra companies available. Wonderful. Bengal. Where is it? What would you give me for Bombay? Investment rights? No. Trade privileges? No. $30? No. I'm giving you a chunk of a state here, my guy. Goof up your economy? Goof up your economy for a luxury resource? I can't believe this. I'm literally giving you territory right now. Fine. If that's how you want to play it, I'll come and I'll get my wayward subject. I'll get them when the time comes. Contentious topics. An event organized by the Sunni rights movement transformed into a brawl as opponents of the movement infiltrated the crowd. When the police arrived, no participant was willing to give a consistent statement. Most of them had at least one bruise, a cut lip, or a bloody nose. His was much less honorably obtained than most of theirs. He'd whacked his hip against the corner of a table while rushing for the exit, only to nearly run headlong into an approaching gendarme. Two conflicting stories rose to mind, one that he would tell to the detective, and one he would tell to his friends. Give them all a day in jail to cool off, or seek charges for this event's organizers, weaker Sunni rights movement. I'm going to do the second one. Ooh! I'm on low taxes. I completely forgot. Now I can sustain this war indefinitely. Does that goof up my legitimacy? It does not. Not at the present. When's my next election? 1900. Alright, pretty soon. Kutayan. Kushian. Darul Kuti. Alright. This is inconvenient. Let's go ahead and grab the second home guard to handle this. That should be fine. I'm not worried about that. We are pressing slowly and hopefully inevitably into Prussia. Suffrage rally. Advance. Rallies in support of women's suffrage have been taking place around the country, but some of them have been turning violent. Of course, 95% of the protesters are peaceful, but all it takes is one radical element to set things off, and before you know it, you have a whole mob whipped up into a frenzy. Scale back the rallies, extra enactment success chance, or we'll risk a little violence. A 66% chance of 20% enactment success chance, 33% chance of 10% reduced enactment success chance, and a violent suffrage rally backlash, extra political movement pop attraction. You know, we'll just keep him on the level. I'll take guaranteed enactment success chance most of the time, under most circumstances. Ooh. We've got a stopped up front here, so now I've got a problem. This is the secondary front. So this army needs to be over there. We're still naval invading Sicily, and if we can successfully naval invade Sicily, we can get where we want to go. Oh gosh dang it. They're running roughshod over the front. And the front's merged back, because they pushed unopposed. Alright, hold on. Now you go there. And you're on your way... No! Gosh dang it. No, you guys are supposed to be over here. Alright, now I'm playing a dangerous game here, because I don't have anyone back in Iberia defending. The brave engineer. A railroad accident in Catalonia only recently avoided heavy fatalities due to the quick thinking of the train's engineer who perished in the crash. Only a few people died, but the wreckage will take some time to clear. Come all you rounders if you want to hear a story all about a brave engineer. Thank goodness for quick thinking engineers, penalty to infrastructure. Or railmen should get more than a song for dying on the job. Penalty to infrastructure, but stronger and happier trade unions. I'm definitely going to do the second one. Stronger trade unions supports my agenda. This rebellion is probably going to pop off regardless of what happens. So I'm not going to concern myself too much with it. Just keep an eye on my wars here. I should be able to push to the Turkish capital without a problem. Cash flow is doing just fine. Standard of living is stuttering, but I did increase taxes back to Midland, so, you know. I do have some authority to play with, which is rare, but cool. Let me see. What's 150? Coal. I don't need that. Let's put a tax on luxury clothes, shall we? And the Prussians are fighting the French? No, it's this other thing. The Russians are fighting the French. Oh, it's an invasion. I don't know how these inland invasions work. This is something that I find extremely confusing. Rousing speech captivates the public. This afternoon, Pablo Iglesias Pose, leader of the trade unions, delivered a fiery speech advocating for the enactment of women's suffrage. Making an appearance before the public in Madrid's main square, Pablo Iglesias Pose's powerful rhetoric left even his most embittered political opponents impressed. Excerpts from the speech are already being circulated across the Iberian Federation, fanning the fires of an already roaring debate. It should ease the path to reform greatly, 15% accurate success chance. Or performances like this reflect well on Pablo Iglesias Pose and his cause. 10% accurate success chance, but he becomes more popular and the trade unions get stronger. I'm going to pick that second one. The inaccurate success chance is nice, but I don't need it as much as I need stronger trade unions. Looks like we are winning this battle. We got 76% landing progress. Oop. And now we seem to be losing it. And now we're winning it again. Whee! I love Vicky 3 battles. I have too many fronts. Anyway, Darl Kuti should be sorted out really, really soon. And at that point, I should be able to simply bring the first, the second home guard back, and maybe I'll put them on this front as well, because I've certainly got the naval capacity. Although I might not need it. Ilocano, National Awakening. Nice. Ooh, and we've got a proper front here. Excellent. So this war might sort itself out actually pretty soon. And that means we'll actually be left with Turkiye. With our war with Turkiye. I need new companies. Corporatism. Excellent. That's good. And that naval invasion does not pertain to me, sir. It does not pertain to me, sir. This naval invasion is of no consequence to Iberia. Platinian National Awakening, Cordoba. Nice. There's Darl Kuti situation sorted. Again, let's put these folks in Italy. Grassroots support for law. The political wills and desires of the lower classes will always remain an opaque matter. For whatever reason, support for women's suffrage has spread like wildfire across the Iberian Federation, spurred on by charismatic speakers and lively debates in small-time social clubs. They're backing what now? Well, who are we to complain? While their support was never a prerequisite for success, it sure doesn't hurt to have it either. Public enthusiasm expects reform, indefinite increase in support for the feminist movement, trade unions get stronger, or use as common ground to calm the masses in Madeira. Madeira doesn't have a very high population, so even though it's 20% of lower sternum pops, I might often take this option. This time I'm going to go with the first one, because stronger trade unions are my bread and butter. In fact, trade unions are kind of locked in. We got 42% clout here, of the clout in the country, and if things continue to go the way they're going, it might be even more than that. Now, Turkiye. Surely you would accept to become my protectorate and to give me a tasty Serbia. Surely you would accept this. Ooh, I might lose Serbia, actually. Let's find out. Beautiful. So now, I can't send you to that front. But I'm also not involved in this war at all, so that's fine. We'll just grab these units, pull it back to home. And then you, we're going to put on the front in Italy, and that's going to make that go a lot faster. The whole business in Prussia, that's going forward at a reasonable rate. But I don't feel a great need to concern myself with that. Two Sicilies is going to bail out of this war really soon, I feel. Oh, there's a bunch of... Hold on. Actually, no. You're needed on the Prussia front, because there's a bunch of war goals here. In fact, I need to set getting Turkiye back as my... Oh. Brazil has bailed out of the war. Wonderful. Let's naval invade Pomerania. The tiny dogs will soon be mine! Popular playwright endorses reform. In the midst of the debate surrounding women's suffrage, one of the country's leading playwrights, strongly associated with the trade unions, has staged a widely acclaimed play whose politically laden theme makes no secret of the author's desire for the law to be passed. The man's viewpoints may be somewhat partisan, but sir, you cannot argue with his prose. Women's suffrage will be on everyone's lips now, 10% accurate success chance. This sure puts the trade unions in a good light, 10% stronger trade unions. Or let's ensure the play gets a wider international audience, 5% prestige. I'm actually going to snag the prestige. I would go for stronger trade unions, but I kind of don't need them. And this is a Venetian communist revolt against the Republic of San Marco. And where is the Republic of San Marco, pray tell? Ah, in Sardinia. And there's something happening in Congo as well. Amazonic mass immigration. Excellent. Moving to Extremadura and the surrounding states. Exciting. Well, Brazil, you've escaped a dismembering once again. But soon. Oh, this is weird. No, they are going up. It's just they're taking their sweet time about it. All right, that's fine. Them's the breaks. Oh man, Bohemia is going to be really devastated. Oh, they're not. Oh, the front has moved north. All right, beautiful. Beautiful. We're good. We're good to go. We got it sorted. We're doing just fine. And we're coming in from the north as well. Prussia, get smoked. God, does anyone remember that? Persona 5 was 10 years ago. It hurts. When you have the hammer, actually it might be 11 years ago now that it's 2026. General Enrique Paiva Cruzeiro, noting severe unrest in Iberian Gujarat, has proposed using the army to suppress agitation in the area. While his political allies support him, there is heavy risk to following his plan. It's simple. We have an army, there is the enemy. Let me deploy my men and do what is needed, and the enemy shall be vanquished. That is all there is to it. Reprimand the general and reject the plan, salty armed forces, or we must use the tools we have to solve the problems we have. Secession, increase or decrease. 32% chance it goes down, 66% chance it goes up. I'm going to go with the second one. Pissing off the armed forces is not good. And we're in voting for women's suffrage. Wonderful. Let me see. I do need to snag... Well, once this war's over, we'll, let's get some of these secondary armies back home. Just to make sure they're good to go. You're on the front, right? Yes, you are. Oh, no, that's so weird. I wonder if there's something weird about which war is which. In any case, we've got a hold of the Prussian capital now. So at this point, they have no choice but to... There's a Catholic party in the election. Interesting. At this point, they have no choice but to accept that they must surrender. So, Catholic Party. Let's let a week go by, as we always do, and then take a look at our politics. So, trade unions are strong, but not as strong as I would have thought. Conservative Party has snagged the armed forces, the industrialists, and the petite bourgeoisie. They're about even momentum, and the conservatives are actually higher, which is a surprise. Progressive Party is just the landowners. They have practically nothing. Radical Party, same... Well, not practically nothing. The Radical Party and the Catholic Party are both pretty low, right around 10%. Alright, so this is going to be an interesting election. I think I'm still going to try to give the Social Democrats as much support as I can. The crusade for change. The ongoing effort to implement women's suffrage has captured the imagination of the Social Democratic Party, which has added full-throated support of the new law as part of its central platform. Here we go. The country yearns for change. For too long, we've watched the nation suffer. Is it not right to call for upheaval? Is it not right to call for the changes that are long overdue? I tell you now, we must embrace the future. The Social Democratic Party are the champions of change, 10% momentum. Or the people speak, and the nation shall listen, 20% enactment success chance. I'm going to do the first one. I got enough enactment success chance. This will help us stay locked in. Locked in with the Social Democrats. They're almost at the point where they're neck and neck with the Conservative Party. Petit bourgeoisie are no longer powerful, and that's why I'm short on bureaucracy right now. And that's causing me a financial situation. So let's go ahead and build a little bit more taxation capacity, shall we? Valencia, you're fine. Murcia. Extremadura. Alentejo. Extremadura, you're fine. Alright, that should be enough taxation capacity for this. I think that'll be completely reasonable. Probably going to have the same guy heading up the country, although we'll see. Come on, women's suffrage. It's going to change up the election, I tell you what. Alright, excellent. Actually, it's probably not. Fight for the franchise. Alberto Izaguirre has begun a campaign emphasizing the Social Democratic Party's pro-franchise platform, promising greatly expanded voting rights for all segments of society if the party is elected. My esteemed colleagues, what do you have to fear from an empowered people? Can you say that you embrace the people looking upon what you have done and being as proud as you are? Form an electoral coalition with other pro-franchise candidates. Much stronger modernization, radical and liberal movement. 10% momentum for the Social Democrats, and Izaguirre becomes more popular, or only if the Social Democratic Party can truly serve the people. 30% momentum to the Social Democrats. That's interesting. I'm going to give the Social Democrats a whole mess of momentum. That's kind of how I handle a lot of situations like this. Let's go ahead and bring the fleet closer back to our home waters, to the Bay of Biscay, our home on the sea. Prussia is still shooting, but it seems like we're good. So what's Austria going to get out of this? They're going oh my goodness, they're going to get Oberschlesien, Niederschlesien, and Brandenburg. That's absurd. Yeah. You sick nerds. You crazy bastards, you did it. Legislation imposed on Venezuela refused. They've refused our demand that they enact slavery banned. The ambassador returns, bearing the news of the rejection. That shows pride over progress, he reports. The silence that follows lies heavy in the council chamber. How ought we to react to such insubordination? How indeed? Better vote. And landed voting doesn't count. You better do real voting. I can't tell if they did it or not. Let's bring our armies back to Iberia. This war is basically a foregone conclusion at this point. Persecution of Maghrebi people. Maghrebi businesses and homes have been attacked all across Extremadura by groups of Portuguese people. They threw bricks through our shop's windows. There was a note attached that said, "Go home," but this is the only home we've ever known. This vandalism must cease. -2 standard of living for Maghrebi, reduced authority for 5 years. Or our hands are tied for reasons, -5 standard of living for Maghrebi. We're definitely going to pick the first one. It's worth it. -5 standard of living is pretty brutal. Political migration. The rich and unstable political environment in the Iberian Federation has proven attractive to political exiles and stateless people, who have begun to congregate in the coffee houses of Madrid. Oh, Madrid, you flawed yet fiery jewel, where else could one see 3 different demonstrations than a 5 minutes walk? They're welcome to join the sea of voices, extra prestige, extra radicals from political movements, and we get Varfolomei Zaitsev as a character. He's a Russian nihilist and an historical character. Or these people make a mockery of the Iberian Federation. Reduce prestige, reduce radicals from political movements. I'm going to pick the first one. I'm fine with having a nihilist hanging about. I know that I can form a new company, but I'll let that be. Alright. Fruitful endorsements. In a gesture of solidarity with the Progressive Party, Varfolomei Zaitsev has encouraged his supporters to vote for it in the ongoing election. For the interest of all principled people, the Progressive Party has a consistent record of excellence. I cannot speak higher of those brave men and women moving the Iberian Federation forwards under their name. Yes, our thanks certainly, 30% momentum for the Progressives, or this endorsement would best be more specific, 20% momentum for the Progressives and the landowners become stronger. I'm actually going to say the first one. That's barely going to move the needle electorally, frankly. Okay, here we go. So the Social Democrats and the Conservatives are both sliding northward. This is probably a result of women's suffrage coming into effect. Ever-increasing influence. Members of the Anti-Russian Association have discreetly dispatched one of their number to amplify their mission in Iberia's most widely read newspaper. The Anti-Russian Association has calculated, with utmost mastery, the dissemination of materials to secure a foothold in both the political world and the public's imagination. With great satisfaction in lobbyist comments, there is no denying the number and reach of newspapers is ever expanding. This approach is sure to reach influential lawmakers to favor our scheme. This sets a bad precedent, trade unions unhappy, or this is ingenious. Reduce legitimacy, increases appeasement by 1. I'm going to piss off the trade unions. I can afford to piss them off by 1. France is damaging relations with us. I don't know why. Did our situation Goa sort itself? Yeah, seems to have done. Excellent. And our landowners are even a little bit less unhappy. They'll continue to be unhappy for a while now. God's will. Jose Sebastião de Almeida Neto of the Catholic Church has been seen preaching in favor of the Catholic Party, convinced that their victory has been foreseen in God's plan. Do you think that God would not have a plan for our pious nation? Of course there's a plan. There must always be a plan. I've seen it myself. Let me tell you, I've seen it as clear as I see you all now, just before my eyes. And who else to lead this adrift government other than those who can clearly read that plan? Who are we to stand against God's will? Slightly stronger Catholic Church. Such a shame the nation is not ruled by God, then he loses a bunch of popularity. Or, but God surely wants the Radical Party to win. Extra momentum for them. The Radical Party are not projected to take much. We'll throw a little momentum their way, though. Better them than the Conservatives. That's fine. Pebrine outbreak. Oh my gosh, we got Pebrine. Tragic. The outbreak of the silkworm disease Pebrine in the French Republic has spread to Iberian soil. The silk plantations in Alta Andalusia have begun experiencing mass deaths among their silkworms. Yes, every single one of them from the last batch, covered in brown spots and dying one by one. There's not a strand of silk among them. The same report had begun to trickle in from nearly every farm in Alta Andalusia. Thousands upon thousands of silkworms affected. Shrunken, lethargic, poor development, and not a wisp of vital, priceless silk spun. We must act at once, adds the Pebrine epidemic journal entry, and reduced silk plantations throughput. Or damn this French negligence. The same thing, except it deteriorates relations with France. I'm going to do the first one. I don't want to be in a bad relationship with France. So, New Grenada. Not that one, this one. Time for us to be better friends. Gonna reduce subject payments because it's functionally nothing. El Salvador. Gonna increase their autonomy as well and reduce subject payments. Nice. Beautiful. Now hopefully I haven't Arnau Espinosa An Iberian supremacist movement. Interesting. So, there's camera. Wonderful. We have a healthy lead on Great Britain at this point. Let's go ahead and grab our arts academies and get them doing photography. You only think you're not profitable, but you're profitable, all right. If I need to subvene the export of art, I will. Oh my goodness, I radically overbuilt arts academies. Hold on. And there's the election. All right, hold on. Let me find art here. It's still good. It's still good. Do I need export subventions? It would not cost me that much money. Let's do it. Now, politics. We're in a legitimate government. I can't faction up with any of the other parties to get more legitimacy, but that's fine. Things are fine. I've got plenty of cash. So let's go ahead and drop back to low taxation. That's going to put us in righteous with all the benefits that that brings with it. Now, I could go to graduated taxation. That would bring in more money, but it would also, I think, reduce the increase in the size of the investment pool. So let's leave that be for now. Weird. I can technically roll back women's suffrage. That's very strange. Now, I could go to right of assembly or protected speech. Protected speech would mean no more suppressing movements. Oh, my Carlist movement has died out. That's why I wound up with a bunch of extra authority. Oh, that's cool, because we're no longer a monarchy. Rad. Well, maybe I'll do that. Who would be against? The petite bourgeoisie, the armed forces, the Catholic Church. This is like a little bit of a breach in our otherwise quite liberal power structure. I have an amendment to political concessions. Ah, yes, stronger armed forces. But I'm not suppressing anybody anymore. Maybe I go all the way to protected speech. I think I do. Liberal movement likes it. Let's do it. Armed forces are very unhappy. They're making my military economy inefficient, but them's the perks. The synthetic solution. A group representing the industrialists has requested state investment in developing a process to create synthetic silk as an alternative to the Pébrine-racked silkworm industry. And in the case that the cause for this malady is not found before our entire industry is upended, I ask you to at least consider it. One day we shall be able to produce whatever we wish from a chemical still, and we should not abandon the opportunity to begin that course with all due haste. A worthy investment in this time of crisis costs a barrel full of money, makes the industrialists a little stronger, but makes them happier, and gives us some free progress on art silk. Or do we will not threaten the silk industry further, makes the industrialists mad. I'm going to do the first one. Okay, so, Pébrine. How do I deal with this? Let's take a look at the entry. The Iberian silk industry has been afflicted on a large scale by Pébrine, an epidemic which threatens to decimate our silkworm farms if left unchecked. We'll complete if we've learned how to resolve the Pébrine epidemic, either from domestic research or from another nation. And the Iberian Federation has had an encouraged agricultural industry decree active in at least 75% of states affected by Pébrine for 1 year after discovering a solution. A solution to the epidemic can be received through researching pasteurization or receiving it from another nation that has discovered the solution. We need pasteurization. Pasteurization, we need to clear out the tier 2s in production first. I still want to finish out malaria prevention, and then we'll queue them in. After that, we'll snag railways and electric radio. Or radio and electric railways. And there's pump jacks. So that should allow us to build... that should allow us to build... oil wells. Oh, man. Brain doing bad tonight, friends. Brain bad. Oil. The discovery of oil in Chad is causing people to flock to the state, hoping to find jobs in this booming industry. Gold, silver, diamonds, and for what? Trinkets and finery for the gentry, glamour to hide that their time has passed. Listen, my friend, nostalgia may be gilded, but the future runs on oil. Encourage this trend, oil is the future. Extra migration attraction, oil industry employee mortality, oil industry employee standard of living is reduced, more oil industry employees, increased oil extractors throughput. Progress is best tempered with caution. Half as much migration attraction, half as much extra oil industry employees, no increase in mortality or reduction in standard of living, but only half the throughput bonuses. And then these other two options are always encourage an oil rush wherever it's found, which is next time this happens in subsequent times, the first option will be picked. Or caution is always wise no matter the time or place, which is the second option will be picked the next time this happens. This is a really good setup for this. This event used to pop all the time, and it was frustrating. I'm always going to do the second one, so we'll do that. Now, Chad. Where are you? Am I failing at geography right now? Here we go. Let me see. What's infrastructure like? It's not bad. Well, we're gonna need markets. Because we're building an oil industry. Now, I realized, I was going to give some states to Sokoto forever ago, and I didn't. I want to unite Outer Hausaland in Sokoto's hands, so we'll go ahead and do that. And then East Hausaland is not disunited, right? Hausaland is good to go. It's not split. Outer Hausaland is good. Alright, and then probably I'm going to give them Bornu. Let's take a quick look at the population. They're Kanuri, primarily, with some Fulbe people here as well. The Fulbe people are Sahelian, and they speak a Fulani language. The Kanuri people are Sahelian and speak a Kunari language. A Kanuri language. Sorry, mispronouncing that. And the Hausa people are Sahelian and speak Hausa. Now, Sokoto's primary cultures are Hausa and Fulbe. So that should mean these people will all be very well accepted under, they'll certainly be well accepted under subject head. Alright, so we will pass Bornu to Sokoto. Just for the sake of clean borders here. Now, before we do anything else, I'm just going to take a quick look at my diplomacy once again. Take a look at my subjects. I'm going to sort by subject type. I've got two protectorates still, Serbia and Turkiye. Serbia seems to have sorted out its civil war, which is good for me. All these other puppets are very low in liberty desire, except for the two that I've just converted to puppets, which are El Salvador and New Grenada. Everyone else seems good. Alright, I need to improve relations with Serbia. That I should have done earlier. Relations could be better, but them's the breaks. Quick pause to deal with this. Free speech pamphlets. A pamphlet in favor of protected speech has been circulated illegally across most of our major cities. They print them faster than we can confiscate them. We've pretty much given up on containing it. No point now it's out there. This will help our cause, reduce enactment time, increase enactment success chance, or we could use this to push a stronger message, stronger liberal movement for 10 years. only enactment success chance. Does having a stronger liberal movement help me? They are creating loyalism, which long term would be very good. This would get me only not reducing enactment time. I'll do the second one. Stronger liberal movement, that's probably good. Liberal movement, I'm doing basically everything they want. They would like commercialized agriculture, interestingly enough. Can I look at where they're contributing articles? It doesn't seem like they're contributing loyalists. Hey, they got the chart working again. Excellent. Oh, I love this chart. This is a very important chart here. This is a really good balance of stuff, of loyalists and radicals right here. I'm feeling pretty pleased about that. So, Brazil. You have a truce with me, but only for another 3 years. Soon I will devour you. Oh. Oh, it's the Gujarati National Movement, once again. I want to give them to Dharampur. Dharampur's doing extremely bad. Pebrine epidemic in Baja Andalusia. So, I'm just going to read this event the one time. The ongoing pebrine epidemic has spread to the silk plantations in Baja Andalusia. The rapid spread of the disease through Iberian silkworm farms is presenting more and more danger to the silk industry. The first round of eggs that hatched this week had a slightly elevated rate of mortality, which had partially inoculated those charged with watching over their invertebrate flock. It had not, however, prepared them for the next one. Where before high-grade silk was spun, now withered, brown-spotted larvae struggled in their cells on an inevitable track to eternal stillness. The disease will burn itself out in time. 10 years of pebrine. You punt Silk Miet like she is the football? 10 years pebrine for mother. Pebrine for mother. Pebrine for mother, 10 years. Ah. Does anyone still remember Miet? I still remember Miet. Miet lives rent-free in my head. British Congo colonized Equator. Stop colonizing places, British Congo. Jeepers. You goober, stop colonizing. That's mine. I want it. Maybe the answer to this is we've got to start eating some of these states. Bombay is all this. Oh, Bombay is even as much, or Gujarat is much more than that. And then maybe we release a subject. I annex Dharampur. Nobody steps in. So let's do that. This might be a mistake. We'll see. Iberian Global Defense Force. Handle it, please. So the goal of this is to get all of lost stalled. That's unfortunate. Still 29% though. Could be worse. Could be much worse, in fact. Cash flow is doing pretty bad because we're building stuff. Sind backs down against the French Republic. So that's curious. So now one of the two Sinds is a French protectorate. That's not great, I gotta say. Sorry, just had to quickly handle the thing. And then the British are going after states in Persia. Okay, but hear me out. No. Oh, Russian socialist revolt. That's exciting. That's never happened before. And then France is going after Mysore. Okay, all right. So France is starting to snatch up some territory in India, which means I need to go after them as well. They too are benefiting from the goofed up oh, what you call it? What do you call it, chat? Great Britain, how dare? The goofed up infamy. Oh yeah, they're just trying to make sure that we don't become cordial. They don't wish to be cordial with me. Oh my goodness, the Confederate States exist. Wait. No. I can't take them as a protectorate yet. Florida was once Spanish territory and could be again. Mysore backs down. Well, Pete's sake. Well, advancement. Up to 43%. Excellent. Well, Dharampur, join me. So after that, I think the target is Baroda. Yep, after that, the target is Baroda. Bengal might try to fight me for that. If they do, then that would be a tragedy. Alright. Opium addiction. Gujarati people are experiencing severe effects of opium addiction. The use and abuse of the substance has spread throughout Iberian Gujarat. The opium eater lies under the weight of incubus and nightmare. He lies in sight of all that which he would fain perform, just as a man forcibly confined to his bed by the mortal languor of a relaxing disease, who is compelled to witness injury or outrage offered to some object of his tenderest love. He curses the spells which chain him down from motion. He would but lay down his life if he might but get up and walk, but he is as powerless as an infant and cannot even attempt to rise. -1 Sterna living to Gujarati people in this area. Now, if we can snag the rest of these little countries here, then we can put ourselves in a good situation, because when the state's unified, things are going to be doing better there. We got the Gujarati national movement popping off. They're projected to go to 88% militarism, which means they are likely to you know, there's Barampur. It means they're likely to, gosh, what's the word? To pop off. Let's go ahead and annex Baroda next. Is Bengal going to step in? Looks like no. Travancore might. If they do, them's the breaks. Because these are all one state, they should be able to take all of it as like a melee push. I know that's not what that word means, but you know. Turkiye is continuing to go down in Liberty Desire. That's very good. I believe Serbia is as well. Yes, wonderful. Florida is supporting separatism. Not for long. Not for long, buddy. Law progressed to study. Wonderful. Very nice. Now, is there anything I can build here to improve the state of affairs? The state of affairs is already significantly improved. You need market access, for sure. No, you need infrastructure. You need... I can't give you oil yet. You got silk already. Do you have... You need wheat. That should be enough, for now. We'll build more as time goes by here. Let's normalize production methods. And then we'll continue. So again, the idea is we're just trying to incorporate more territory into this state so that we can have the people there doing better. Aid for silkworm farmers. The laborers of the silk plantations in Alta Andalusia have been affected significantly by the loss of their silkworms to pebrine. They've petitioned for the government for financial assistance to replace lost wages. Man becomes great exactly in the degree in which he works for the welfare of his fellow man. Mahatma Gandhi. Or we deny them aid, extra welfare payments. 2% of laborers and farmers in Alta Andalusia become more loyalist. Or they can find alternate employment soon enough. 5% become radical, -1 standard of living for lower strata for silkworm. No, for the entire state. And extra radicals from political movements. I'm going to do them the first one. That just seems reasonable. Russia seems to be winning against their socialist revolt. Which is what it is. Oh, interesting. We've got some places where we've got shortages of electricity. So let's actually take a look here. Have ourselves a little look-see at how electricity's doing. Yeah. Doro and Minho. We simply need to... After Doro and Minho... I believe we've got enough levels to produce a sufficiency of power here. They're being built. They're being built. Okay, that's fine. Leon. We need more levels. Can I filter these to only in Spain? No. I'm gonna have to click and drag. We need 2 more levels in Leon. Extremadura, we need 1 more level. Baja Andalusia, we need 2 more levels. Alta Andalusia, we need 3 more levels. Catalunya, we need 5 more levels. Aragon, we need 1 level. Valencia, we need 1 level. Islas Baleares, let's put 1 in there. Islas Canarias will do the same. And then Madeira, let's put a level in there as well. This is and the Azores. Azores. I can't. Are you not owned by me? Am I stupid? Perhaps so. Okay, that was weird. And then Madeira. And then we'll be good to go. Sorry, I'm just, gotta make sure that I power the country. Alright. Power to the people. Coup in Nova Scotia. Well, golly. Canada's still a colony, though. Soon. Hey, Mexico, how are you doing, laws-wise? You're going to wealth voting. Well, that's okay. It's not the best, but it's okay. Behind bars. Bars. The arrest and alleged ill treatment of a disorderly protester affiliated with the Afro-Brazilian national movement has sparked resentment among his compatriots. Further demonstrations have been arranged, urging his release. Prison was a miserable place. Iron bars, stone walls, and cold floors. In the past few weeks, the guards had taken to casually tapping their batons against the bars when they passed by, making sleep impossible. He could not even escape in his dreams, as the tension he felt in the waking world began to bleed into his sleep as well. And all this for pushing a policeman? He'd regretted it at first. Now, though, perhaps he could say that every one of them deserved that and more. Perhaps an early release for good behavior could be arranged, Weaker Afro-Brazilian national movement, trade unions unhappy. Or we will not make exceptions because of some hooligans. More active Afro-Brazilian national movement. That's interesting. I'm going to go with... Trade unions are extremely happy. I'm going to go with the first one. I can afford to piss off the trade unions a little bit. The Afro-Brazilian national movement, they'll have their nation soon enough. Because we're coming for you, Brazil. We are coming for you. Oh my goodness, Austria's become only a major? Wow. There's war with Baroda. This isn't going to last long. So this is wild. So as soon as the war with Baroda is finished out, I'll check on our list of majors, because our list of majors is probably quite small if that's the case. Delicious water. Did I win the battle? Yes, I did. 25% occupation. Alright, so this is probably going to go pretty quickly. And then after that, I'll start going for these other states. Nawanagar, Bhavnagar, and Jinadag. And then maybe I'll snag Bengali Gujarat. Is Palanpur part of the state? Oh, Palanpur is part of the state, and so is Kutch. Well, that's bananas. I'll need to take all that territory. Who would have known there were so many countries that I just need to conquer? Oil in Gujarat, baby. Heck yes. Oil? 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 Nope. I don't have enough of the state to be able to have it yet. But soon. Soon. Alright, so there's Baroda. Let's do another reset production methods. Now how do things look? A little bit of oil capacity. Alright, nice. And we got some profitable businesses. Alright, so hopefully turmoil will go down. Am I going to make money from increasing taxation capacity? I don't think so. But quickly. Yeah, Bengal's in position 3, Russia, and then the French Republic, and then everyone else is below that. Wow, Austria is really low. Confederate states are still a major. Okay, just hypothetically. No, can't take anything just yet. Alright, Gujarati national movement is becoming much more militant. Let's see if we can outrun the movement by building up profitable industry. Let's keep an eye on this week over week just to see, make sure we're good. Still profitable. The mob approaches. Belligerent crowds have been getting increasingly provocative when confronted by troops in Iberian Gujarat. Hardliners and government are demanding tougher responses, while doves are calling for troops to stand down as the first hopeful step in de-escalation. A whiff of grape shot saved the day once. It can be done again. I'm telling you what we need to show strength right now. Strength? Ha! Bullets are an admission of weakness. We need to talk. Show them we're not afraid. That's how we'll get them. Disperse the crowds by force. 50% chance of reduced progress to the secession movement. 50% chance 5% of pops become more radical, or order the troops to stand down. 50% chance it goes up. 50% chance of 2% of pops become more loyalist. I'm actually going to do the second one. I'm not afraid of this. Alright, so this should proc. Predicted turn. Yeah, there we go. Alright. So that's fine. Mobilize this army. We'll just station them in Africa. No big deal. We'll send our fleet there to naval invade them when the time comes, and all will be well. Now, what is going on A revolt in Luxembourg. Couldn't be bothered. Cannot possibly be bothered. The turn of the century. To celebrate the end of the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th, a massive Ferris wheel has been constructed in Madrid. From its pods, the fireworks of the New Year's can be seen all across the grand city of Madrid. The greatest aspiration of humanity is to look down upon everyone else, even if just for the briefest moment. To the new century, extra legitimacy and loyalists from political movements for 5 years, or and away with the old, 5% of upper and middle stratum pops become more loyalist right now. I'm going to go with the extra loyalists from political movements. That just seems reasonable. So from here, what do I do? Still working on protected speech. It's going to cost me some authority, but that's okay. Afro-Brazilian movement is likely to go to 75% militancy. Let's build up rubber in Guaviare. What's the population here? It's not very high. Lots of peasants. Let's go ahead and build some paper mills. Oh my goodness. We have very low construction efficiency here. Goodness, what on earth is causing this? The Amazon rainforest. Cool. Alright. Here's what we need to do. We need a road maintenance decree. That's going to make this stuff build a lot faster. Alright, beautiful. It's not perfect, but it's also not nothing. So, Gujarat will be just fine. I don't think anyone else is going to stand with them. If they do, it will not be a tragedy. The Madrid Zoo. Hey, music player. Let's get going. The zoo in Castilla Nueva has begun to expand its exhibits with a surge in Iberian prosperity and leisure time. From my private collection, I am well capable of lending you the most excellent specimen of a lion captured as a cub from a hunt in Africa. With all fortune, I will be able to procure for you a specimen of a particularly favored species of mine, that rotund yet fierce Manil cat documented by Pallas from the steppes of furthest Mongolia. The curator sat back and regarded the sponsors before him. Sirs, all I require from you is the majestic lion, symbol of strength the world over for extra prestige, and 2% of petite bourgeoisie become more loyalist. The fierce Manol from the mountains of China, Great Qing improves relations with them. The elegant Siro from the forests of the Empire of Japan improves relations with Japan. Let's go with the lion. That's fine. What's going on in China? How are you doing, buddy? You're doing okay. How about you, Japan? Oh yeah. I've got a pretty good deal with them, I must say. So, I was going to look at companies forever ago, and I got the ability to add a new company. Let me see. I could produce refined steel. Extra state construction efficiency is very good. Bureaucracy, that's fine. Loyalist, extra infrastructure, and refined steel. Now that's pretty good. Formation speed, very good. Birth rate, good but hard to keep productive. Reduce military goods cost, don't see necessarily myself wanting that. Fertilizer building throughput, supply consumption, production research speed, that seems very, very strong. But it's a fertilizer and farming company. I necessarily want them. Navy offense, cool. Law advancement, wonderful. You love to see it. Oil company for extra migration attraction, now that's an interesting prospect. Extra influence, curious. Radicals for movements, extra infrastructure per 100k population. Mills throughput. Alright, so I think I gotta go with state construction efficiency. So let's found Antradoro Minho Steel. And where are they now? And there's malaria prevention. Wonderful. I'm going to give them investment rights. Do my other companies not have investment rights? No, they do. Oh, not you. You should have investment rights. And let's see. I can give you industry rights to silk. It's not a good thing to do right now. Armaments industry, I can give you industry rights to steel mills. But you're already in steel mills. I can give you iron and coal mines industry rights. I'm using 3 out of 5 charters. Let's do it. Oh, I can't also do coal mines. Well, that's okay. That's okay. Alright, so now, joining the scramble for Africa. The Iberian Federation's growing colonial empire in Africa, along with new means to prevent malaria, have made us a serious contender for colonial control of the continent. When I see this continent, I see a new, raw, unworked material from which anything could be carved. But, as often when we are working with rough materials, mishaps are inevitable. Something breaks, blood is spilled. The Iberian Federation isn't so squeamish as to let a bit of blood get in the way of ambition, are we? Bring out the maps and straight edges. So now we're in the scramble for Africa. We're colonizing big. Don't have any additional colonies I can throw down in there. But I can colonize a whole mess of Oceania. So let's do it. I'm just going to go straight in. I'm not going to... This should go pretty quickly. At this point, I've got a lot of population. This is almost popped off. Starvation, yeah, there always is. In the middle of colonizing, what are you going to do? Alright. Throw a naval invasion downrange. And that'll sort itself out within good order. Alright, so we're building up Guaviare. With the stuff that we've built, is standard of living increasing? Is the question. Well, the traction's high. So there's at least some weekly migration. Obviously, these paper mills are going to take a long time to be built. Let's build more of them. We're building them in tandem, so, you know. Actually, let's throw the logging camps. At the bottom of it. And there's protected speech. Wonderful. There's the freedom of thought journal entry complete. The thought, the word, and the ideal. Those who seek to think boldly and freely are increasingly finding the Iberian Federation to be one of the safest places to explore their ideas. Have you read the filth laid out in the supposed poem about the Iberian president? Outrageous! Outrageous! Written by one of his countrymen, too. Can you imagine? I got a copy for myself. Someone needs to keep an eye on these literary libertines. The Iberian government certainly isn't. A utopia for the modern artist? Mr. Arts Academy building throughput, or a place where research is unimpeded by tradition? Extra university throughput. I'm going to do the second one. And now we've got the new Colossus journal entry. That one is going to complete this, we're going to need to get multiculturalism and no migration controls. So, you know, that's probably not going to happen, but we'll see. Supporting the Brazilian workers. We will support the workers in Brazil, boosting the power of their trade unions. Maybe we believe in the international cause of the working man, maybe we don't. In the end, it doesn't matter. What matters is that the Brazilian trade unions get stronger. An excellent idea. Stronger trade unions, or this would be ill-advised, weaker trade unions. An excellent idea. Egypt is still a major somehow. Tawantinsuyu is in default. Well, that's a shame. This is causing me reduced Opposition interest group approval. And there's the Afro-Brazilian National. Gosh dang it. But I'm building stuff over there. I'm building stuff. It's gonna be better. You'll see. You'll see. It's gonna be better. Please tell me I've got good production methods here and I'm not just goobering. Oh, I've got access to automatic irrigation. I never reset production methods. That's what happened. There we go. Hopefully that'll make things at least a little better. I should at least see what's going on in India. Naval invasion's looking good. What is my occupation amount here? In the state, 50%. All right, so we're hurtling towards victory. Yep, there we go. Perfect. Do I remove? I don't think I do. My decree. I was like, do I remove my decree? No, because I think I need my decree. Nationalist opera. The performance of an opera with nationalist revolutionary themes at an upcoming festival is being openly associated with the Gujarati succession movement by its proponents. Friday the 23rd, fireworks. Tuesday the 24th, illuminations. Wednesday the 25th, revolution. Cancel the fireworks. 2% of Gujarati pops become more radical. Cancel the illuminations. 5% of Gujarati pops become more radical. Reduce bureaucracy. Reduce progress for the Gujarati National Movement secession. They've already popped off, so I don't know if that works. Or cancel the revolution. Secession minus 15% reduced authority. I'm just going to do the first one. I don't think it's going to actually affect anything. All right. Pushing forward with this. I should have looked at this sooner. The situation in Guaviare. If I need to punch down a revolution, it's not the end of the world. It's just not my favorite. They're in the British Empire. How ridiculous. Okay, hold on. I need them to be lower rank. That's what I need. Do I not have an interest? Is that the issue? I don't have an interest. Well, let's establish some interests. You know, I'm interested. I'm interested in what's going on in America. You'll see. You'll see. You'll see how interested I am. This should sort itself out soon. And there we go. The Chad pipeline. Oil companies operating in Chad have been requesting government assistance in funding a pipeline, promising that its construction will be accompanied by other infrastructural improvements. Putting a liquid inside a solid, putting that solid inside another solid, and propelling the whole mess across a railway, trust me, in the future they will laugh at how he once did this. Now let me show you how simple it could be. It'll just be like turning on a tap. We will contribute to the funding of this project. Extra infrastructure and oil extractors throughput costs the government money, makes the industrialists happy briefly. Or this is not in the budget, makes the industrialists mad. I'm going to do the first one. I always do that. Extra oil extractors throughput and infrastructure forever. Sign me up. Alright, so we made things better in Iberian Gujarat. Businesses are not exactly profitable, but they're doing okay. Let's build up some steel mills. Let's build some food industries. Let's reset production methods. Having reconquered the territory. Take a moment and see what's profitable. Very good. Yep. Okay, looks good. And we are building all of this stuff. We did finish with the forestry industries in Guaviare. Turmoil has gone down a little. I don't think that much, actually. How's infrastructure? Infrastructure is fine. Population, fewer peasants. Alright, so from here, let's grab which of these states has the highest population. 250k, Kutch 800k, Junagad 665, Bhavnagar 409. Alright, Kutch. Time to get annexed. You know what? I just realized I don't have a front Kutch, so that was dumb. But them's the breaks. I've been dumb before. I will be dumb again. Do I have the ability to colonize in here? I'm already colonizing in there. Ku and Jaisalmer, that does not affect me. Economy is growing slowly. I'm still only number 2 for economy. Who's ahead of me in economy? Great Britain, but only by a little. Okay, I need to keep an eye on that. Now, Brazil. How much longer are we in a truce for? 2 more years. I'm coming for that ass, Brazil. I am going to liberate Amazonas, and I will make Amazonas part of my network of subjects. Believe you me, do not think you will escape unscathed, Brazil. Unscathed. You will be thoroughly scathed. You'll be more scathed than anyone has ever been. What else? Is Oyo still a French subject? They are. And then Denmark and the Netherlands all have bits of territory over here. Hey, Netherlands. Oh, man, this territory is really badly managed. So this is Gold Coast. This is Ivory Coast. This is Windward Coast. Netherlands, let's talk about Africa. I want Gold Coast, Windward Coast, Ivory Coast, Guyana? What do you want? You'd like a defensive pact or a guarantee of independence. I could give you a defensive pact. Military assistance, trade privileges. Not going to give you investment rights. What about cash? Alright, I can't get all this just for this stuff, but what if we did a defensive pact? Let's cut Guyana. What about goods? You want engines. How many engines do you want? $70. Any other goods? You want some art. Can't get enough acceptance for that. Other goods. You want lead. But not much. Goods transfer. Man of Wars. Dope. Okay, let's cut military assistance. Really, we're just getting one state for a defensive pact. They'd still say yes if I threw them a bunch of cash. So we'll send. Beautiful. Now, let's draft a new treaty. Trade privileges for Guyana. Now that's 150. Interesting. 150 from having traded states recently. Okay. Alright. Alright. I didn't know that. Alright. They changed up the system. Alright. That's fine. Do we already have a pact? Nope. Only that one. Alright, nice. We are still colonizing in this way. That is good. Alright. Art Nouveau. Usually this happens a lot earlier in my games. The spread of a new artistic style inspired by nature, imitating the sinuous curves of plants through robust iron and glass to convey the contradictions of progress, has reached Madrid's higher spheres. Delicious water. Well, you know, I just painted on. I went on without design or sketch. It grew as I painted, and toward the end I reached such a point of perfection, putting every touch with such freedom, that when I came round to the corner where I started, why, I had to paint part of it over again, as if the difference would have been too marked. And the harmony in blue and gold developing, you know, I forgot everything in my joy of it. This new art style is truly mesmerizing. Portuguese people become obsessed with fine art. 20% Arts Academy throughput for 5 years. And they say they paint without a design. Well, it shows. 2% of academics and aristocrats in Castilla and Nueva become more radical. Reduced Arts Academy throughput. I'm going to go with the first one. Having a pop obsessed with a luxury good is good for the producers of that luxury good. Yeah, we got a pretty healthy market for art in the country, I must say. Engines are still stupid expensive. Let's see. I think we need to expand the engines industry. Although, how close are we to electric railway? Not at all close. All right. First is improving relations. Interesting. Let's go ahead and build up some engine production. Just going to build 30 levels in Castilla and Nueva. We've got plenty of infrastructure available. We'll build 10 levels of trade capacity just to make sure that we stay there with that. Now, where else are we producing motor industries? Are we producing motors? We're actually producing most of our motors in Anserradura de Minho. Alta Andalusia, Extremadura. Yeah, that's fine. Alta Andalusia. We'll build up 10 levels of motor industries. And there's Twitch. This isn't your machine running bad, it's mine. Anserradura de Minho will build up another 10 levels. Do we have the infrastructure here? We surely do. Do we have the infrastructure here? We surely do. And was it Murcia where we had the others? No. Where was it? Leon? Extremadura. That's where. No. Extremadura. 10 levels. Alright, and that is going to basically double the size of our engines industry, of our motor industries, which is good, because that's what we need. Let's get... Oh my god. Honduras, you stupid dorks. I can't believe this. I can't believe this. How could they? Honduras, you better win. If you don't win, I'm going to be furious. Oh my god, Honduras, are you showing up with one flotilla? I'm furious. I've never been angrier. I'm exaggerating for comedic effect, obviously. I'm not actually furious. I'm just... I'm at best mildly peeved. Tell you what, though. What if, instead of this, we did an annex play on this other country? And invaded them instead, and then used the border crossing being made available to us to get over there. Oh, I'm so smart. Oh, I'm so good at video games. We're very silly. It's late and I'm silly. I still need to get that cathedral built. Actually, Greece, what do you want? You want trade privileges in exchange for investment rights, trade privileges, and cash. I'm not going to give you the money. No, you're willing to give me money. I don't need money. I'm aware that I just negotiated against myself here, but it just felt right. Soon. 19 months. Middle of 04 really is when this is gonna pop off. And Austria is experiencing a Polish uprising. And a Ukrainian uprising at the same time. Based. Prussia is still technically a major. We just see how long that lasts. I seem to have a lot of extra bureaucracy to play with. Let's increase colonial growth. Ooh, and I can increase healthcare as well. Wonderful. Raja Poplachari Raja Gopalachari has been exiled from Pudukkottai. Oh, but the guy. I wanted to see the guy. I desire to see the man. Alright. So, Turkiye is finally ready to have her autonomy reduced to subject. That's just fine. Serbia, surely the same soon. Ah, yes, but their liberty desire went up a little bit when I reduced Turkey's, which is just fine. And Honduras is failing to land, which is why I'm doing this other thing. Man, game's really going wonky. What's going on? Alright, I don't need this. I don't need this Dutch East Indies situation. This I certainly don't need. This Kandahar, don't need that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Everything's popping off. I don't need this. France is going after Tunisia. Tunisia is going after France. Tunisian uprising. Ooh. This might actually matter to me. So I'm going to keep it for now. Against the odds. Despite not enjoying full rights under Iberian law, some wealthier Tuareg people have begun moving into neighborhoods and frequenting establishments they normally would be excluded from. If we want our children to have a future, this is where we should raise them, he said. I want them to live somewhere safe. She crossed her arms. Have you seen the looks we get? When people talk about safe, they don't mean safe for us, they mean safe from us. We made some new regulations to keep the peace. 2% of Tuareg pops become more radicalized for radicalism from discriminated pops, or they fairly earn their success with all that entails. Weaker and angrier petite bourgeoisie and armed forces. I'm gonna go with this. No, I'm gonna do the first one. It's fine. Still need to wait for the armed forces to get back to being happy with me. Alright. This I can safely ignore. This I'll soon be able to safely ignore. With the one with the French, I'll have to wait. Wait and deal with that. Rushing machines, very nice. This I can now ignore. So I should be able to move forward in Nawanagar pretty soon. And then once that war ends, I can land, invade Kuch. A brazen expedition. A Dutch expedition in the Ivory Coast has encountered our own troops, suggesting their colonial ambitions in the region are in conflict with our own. It was not remotely a hostile encounter. On the contrary, they seemed quite happy to meet some other people and, well, I suppose you could call it the same business. Business! Ha! Have they forgotten that they are soldiers? Do they believe the colonization of the African continent is a collaborative effort? If our armies meet on contested territory does not constitute a hostile encounter, our diplomats over in Holland shall have to be twice as hostile to make up for it. They must turn back at once. So it was 12 infamy. Well, there's enough land in everyone for everyone in Ivory Coast. Netherlands gets a claim. Let them have a claim. I'm sure we'll be able to buy the territory from them. It is none big deal. It couldn't be a smaller deal, TBH vac. Alright, 36%. Here, we got our mobilization options, right? Yeah. Alright, there's that, and now this army is on their way to the front to deal with Kuch, and that'll be just fine. Beautiful. Everything is coming up Iberia. And soon I'll be able to go after Brazil. This is going to be a really, really long episode. I think. I'm like, oh no, we're only at 2 hours and 10 minutes. That should be fine. That should be just fine. It'll be about as long as the other episodes. We're going to go for at least another, year and a half so that I can go after Brazil. And then as long as it takes me to bonk in Brazil. Alright, this little situation I can safely ignore. The Nejid is fine. Mecklenburgers can sort that issue. And then no one's gotten involved in this France thing, so I can continue to be neutral here. Booming oil industry. The recent expansion of the oil rigs in Chad has boosted the confidence in the Iberian Federation's future as an oil producer. If our ancestors had seen machines powered by a black flammable liquid bursting forth from the earth, they would surely have called our technological marvels the work of the devil. Thank God we live in such enlightened times. Get every drop from those wells, extra oil extractors throughput, or we'll find more things to put oil in. Free progress on combustion engine. You know I'm going to get that progress on combustion engine. Alright, here we are. We're that's Honduras. That's so funny. The last monarchists. That's the stamp out monarchism journal entry. This is not a unique entry for Iberia. This is for every country. The Iberian Federation has successfully maintained a republican form of government for many years now. There are a few who still remember the old monarchy with any fondness. The days of highborn kings ruling over the meek peasantry atop a gilded throne are over. Let them pass into the realm of storybooks and fairy tales where they belong, and let nostalgia for those days become idle fancy, not the grim face of reaction. We must put the past behind us. Landowners become elitists instead of, I think, Carlist is what they are now. Or there's no harm in nostalgia, they get weaker and happier. I'm going to do the first one. There we go. So once we win our battles in Kuch, I will simply... Oh my goodness. Street side standoff, how could you? I'll deal with that in a moment. And there's multilateral alliances for reduced infamy generation, which is great. And there's central planning. Excellent. That'll give us the capacity to make our bureaucracy much more efficient. Come on. Let's get going here. Beautiful. And now, I reset production methods of Gujarat. And we'll see how things are. So the population is significant now. And I'm short on bureaucracy, which is crazy. Ooh, lost an admiral. Can't have that. Or no, a general. Let me see. So does your shell shocked. Shell shock is very bad. What about you? Republican, very good. Can you get a trade unions fella? You're very good. Oh, Primo de Rivera. Sure, come on in. What could go wrong? Random industrialist artillery commander? Sure. Alright, well, I guess we'll just have to give Primo de Rivera a little promotion. Nothing could go wrong from this. Alright. Wow. It's because the petite bourgeoisie are salty. I'm gonna wait on this. They'll be happier soon enough. The street-side standoff. Troops in Cabo Verde have reported more and more confrontations with belligerent mobs. Fighting will likely break out soon if nothing is ordered. There's only two ways to control the situation. Either pull the troops back or tell them to engage. The soldier shuffled nervously where he stood, shifting the weight of his gun back and forth as he stared into the crowd stirring far too close by. He thought he recognized some of those faces, or he would have, if they weren't twisted in utter loathing of him and his uniform. What was he even doing? Was he standing with the right people here? Order withdrawal. 50% chance the secession goes down, 50% chance it goes up, and increased state penalties from turmoil. Not going to do that. Or our men are professionals, they can maintain discipline where they are. 66% chance it goes down, 33% chance it goes up, plus 1 mortality. I'm going to pick that second one. It went down. This doesn't really affect things. Their activism is topping out at 78%. And hopefully it will be lower when we finish these paper mills and are providing better jobs. Uh-oh. A radical revolt in Serbia. Well, I guess we'll send the Iberian Global Defense Force down to the situation. And then Gujarat will come back to you. Gujarat is experiencing some turmoil, but standards of living here are pretty alright. A lot of peasants and some peasants in unemployment, but not too much actually. New money. Those members of Iberian society who have been made wealthy by the recent boom in technological progress have begun to establish fashions of their own, attending more and more extravagant high society functions and exclusive restaurants decorated in the style of Art Nouveau. She's got an indiscreet voice, I remarked. It's full of... I hesitated. Her voice is full of money, he said suddenly. That was it. I had never understood before. It was full of money. That was the inexhaustible charm that rose and fell in it, the jingle of it, the symbols, song of it. F. Scott Fitzgerald, The Great Gatsby. A new world, material without being real. +2 standard of living for the upper strata, and minimum expected standard of living for the upper strata for Castilla Nueva. Cool. I can ignore this thing going on in the Nejid. Oh wait, these dorks need to get up to +5 before they get, before they become happier. Something I can do for them short term. I think I've got, yeah, I've got migration controls. Not really. I can't go to a council republic. It would be pretty funny if I could. Technically, I could go to workers' protections. Just allow multiple production methods. This does the same. I think that one's supposed to say it should increase wages. It's not doing it right now, but I think it's supposed to say that. The Madrid Metro. A new network of underground train stations has been inaugurated in Madrid, providing iconic and cheap transportation within the city limits to commuters. The streets were so much more civilized these days, he thought, as he made his way to the metro station. Whereas once they'd been flooded by the dreary march of multitudes shuffling to and fro from work, now those unsightly herds had been corralled underground, pressed into their tubes, hurtling through the tunnels. And what was progress, if not speeding through the dark? Another step towards the city of tomorrow, 10% more urban center throughput, or a new symbol of our nation's progress, extra prestige. I'm always going to go with that prestige. Alright, in any case, I need more government admin to get my bureaucracy ungoofed. So I'm going to do that now. There we go. Easy peasy. Once I got telephones, I'll be able to not worry about that much anymore, but it's going to be a while before I've got those, so them's the breaks. Fun from that play against us. Alright, that's fine. We will send the first home guard who need a new general. Let's see. You know, let's go with, Cyrus. Is there anyone who's... This guy's a positivist. He's okay. But we'll just send these fellows. It's not going to be a rush. It's not going to be a problem with low organization. Fang is not a centralized culture. Let's start colonizing this way. We'll dispute the British in the Congo. Yeah, I know there is. Also, we've taken over a bunch of territory over here, and gosh dang it, stupid British. How did they get around us so fast? I thought I was the first one to get to all these places. No, I got there and then everyone else came here. Dang it. Well, them's the breaks. Stupid British. Alright. Hold on. Serbia. Are you doing a council republic over there? They're doing a council republic over there. Incredible. Alright, this Oyo can't be arsed. Patriotic Union. Okay, Saxony, not my business. Oman, not my business. I'm going to throw these at the top of the queue. But really, I'm just throwing them ahead of the paper mills, ahead of the motor industries. The paper mills will be... I need to keep at the front because those need to get done as soon as possible. They go really slowly. We're hurtling towards refined steel. I'll be very pleased if we manage to start producing that. And then this is Sintan. Not my business. Oh my goodness, this guy needs a little promotion. The natural solution. Members of the Patriotic Union have loudly stated that the only way to lead us out of the Serb radical revolt versus Serbia war is to leave the government of our nation in their capable hands. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Not that we are a desperate measure, of course, but that's how the saying goes. The natural ordering of linguistics. To each their own, ordo naturalis. We must play by those rules, and how could something be more natural than letting the Patriotic Union lead us through war? They're truly the most capable people. Happier armed forces, extra momentum, or military populism in my war. Significantly reduced momentum. 5% of officers and servicemen become more radical. 10% of academics become more loyalist. Alright, let's take a quick look at the election. This is looking clean. Social Democrats are much lower than the Conservatives, which is a little bit of a shock. Catholic Church has joined the Conservatives. And the Patriotic Union has done their own thing. I'm gonna throw the Patriotic Union some momentum. I think that makes sense. The Capo Verde Workers' Brigades. Armed workers affiliated with the trade unions, progressive factions, have volunteered to assist government forces in countering reactionary forces that would threaten the Iberian Federation. One by one they took up the gun, father and son, and lo, under a sky without a sun, another page of history comes as yet more blood runs. We will need all the support we can get, increased state penalties from turmoil, extra offense and defense, 5% of trade unions pops become more loyalist, stronger trade unions for 5 years, increased secession progress, or demand the organization disarm at once. Weaker and unhappy trade unions, 5% of member pops in Capo Verde become more radical. I'm gonna press yes for yes. Capo Verde is fine. It's doing fine as a location. It needs power. Actually, I think it's doing poorly. Yeah, it's doing poorly. Alright, that's the end of the war. Easy peasy. Let's go ahead and snag Jinagad, and then Bavnagar. It's actually less infamy to return state there. And we'll just move the Iberian Global Defense Force to the front. That's right, we've got another diplomatic play popping off. How is this army doing? They're getting some organization back. It's going to take some time, but that's okay. Alright, here we go. Protests across Azores. The Afro-Brazilian National Movement has organized mass protests across the Azores region. While the protests have remained peaceful for now, local authorities have raised concerns about possible violence. It was more people than he'd ever seen. Villa de Porto, once quiet and known for an almost pastoral character, had come alive with shouting voices and waving flags. He wondered if any of his neighbors were in that crowd. He'd always thought that he shared nothing in common with them. Perhaps he'd been wrong. Allow them to air their concerns. More movement pop attraction. 2% of pops become more loyalist. Extra radicals from political movements. Reduce mortality from turmoil and universal political pop strength. Or the authorities must halt these displays. Increase radicals from political movements much more. Extra state penalties from turmoil. 2% of pops become radical. I'm going to do the first one. The movement being stronger is not necessarily a problem for me. I'm not super concerned. And then Smoky Cabaret. The opening of a luxurious cabaret at the foot of the Montmartre Hill has made the nightlife of... This event is supposed to either only proc for France, or it's supposed to populate your capital here. Instead, it just always says Paris. May the nightlife of Madrid, is what it should say, considerably more lively, attracting, of course, the attention and suspicions of the conservatives. The woman sighs throughout the report in a smoke-induced room. Incense and cigarettes are indistinguishable. So is vapor, even though it's impossible to know where it's coming from. The music is muffled here, thick as syrup. Thank you for the company in these cold nights, she purrs, tossing the document into the fire. We were in much need of some extra fuel. This place has it all. Reduced authority, extra urban center throughput, or this immoral joint will be shut down at once. Reduced bureaucracy, extra authority. I'm going to pick the second one. That's going to goof up my bureaucracy again, but that's okay. Let's get some more government buildings built, shall we? There's the war with Fung. And then let me just, we got 4 weeks on this other stuff. I'm just going to throw these to the bottom of the queue until we've got our ones up there. The Union's campaign. Utilizing Alberto Izaguirre's connections in the trade unions, the Social Democratic Party has gained a much greater share of dedicated and ideologically committed union voters. Stacks of posters exited the printer's shop, each bearing the logo of the Social Democratic Party and a slogan. Men with hammers, calls for solidarity, and red ink by the pails flashed across the papers, ready to be pinned up around the city with a veritable army of partisans. He took a moment to look with pride at a draft sitting on a workbench, studying the shapes printed on the paper, at the vibrant reds, blacks, and whites, and then most of all to the bottom right corner where that crucial sigil made its appearance, produced with union labor. Mobilize the union and vote for the Social Democratic Party. Extra momentum for them, 30%. Our strong trade unions will serve us for many years. 5% of trade union member pops in the Iberian Federation become more loyalist. 20% stronger trade unions for 5 years. 10% momentum instead. I'm actually going to go with 30% momentum. The next election always seems like it's going to have a bigger impact on things. Alright, they're actually close to the point where they're ahead of the Conservatives. This is a bit of a surprise. Party change-up giving the Conservatives a lot more momentum. Oh, the intelligentsia and the rural folk both piled together into the Radical Party. So that's interesting. Mission dogs supporting separatism. I should have built... a power plant and railways there. I wasn't thinking. Rent in this economy? The Catholic Church has formally censured Varfolomei Zaitsev over an unconventional article in a Radical Party newspaper advocating for disruptive social policies. I would like to express my sincerest apologies for my article in the Gazette on Thursday. At the time, I'd been speaking with several fellows about the deplorable state the renting situation is becoming in Castilla la Nueva. Perhaps it is forever too soon to suggest polygamy as a viable solution for the working class. The sanctity of marriage must be protected, reduce momentum for the Radical Party, Zaitsev loses popularity, Catholic Church slightly stronger, or anything to make renting more bearable, more momentum for the Radical Party, he becomes more popular, Catholic Church becomes less popular. I'm going to pick the second one. The Radicals are fine. Alright, there's colonization rights enforced. Home Guard should be returning home shortly. The most dangerous game. Oh gosh, I love this event. It's been forever since we've had this event. Returning from a safari expedition, Miguel Primo de Rivera was marooned on a small island in the West Indies. There he was hunted like an animal by the Russian aristocrat Pyotr Stolypin. He's the leader of the Gentry Assembly in Russia. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Get fucked, Primo de Rivera. Splendid. One of us is to finish a repast for the hounds. The other will sleep in this very excellent bed. On guard, Miguel. Barbaric. Oh, get fucked, Primo de Rivera. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. That is so funny if you know about the history. And there's improved fertilizers. On the general state of the treasury. Ooh, economic regeneration. Interesting. Emphasizing the underdeveloped state of the Iberian economy, the number 2 economy in the world, the Minister of the Treasury has sketched out an ambitious reform plan to reestablish the country among the world's premier economies. This was supposed to proc a long time ago. Economic report on the general state of the public treasury to the most illustrious president of the Iberian Federation. It should come as no surprise to the esteemed gentlemen of Madrid that the waves of industrial and commercial innovation, which have so transformed our brethren beyond the Pyrenees, have not as yet reached the shores of our own dominions in earnest. It is the opinion of the Hacienda that in the absence of immediate policies intended to correct this growing imbalance, our country's paths will be steered not towards civilization and prosperity, but rather towards barbarism and destitution. The following report will... daunting perhaps, but necessary. The economic regeneration program calls for a series of reforms to be carried out within 20 years. Failure to fulfill the program's goals in time will worsen the Iberian political stability. Adds regeneration, land reform, agriculture, mining, industry, railways, colonial for the Iberian Federation. Or we're not in a position to pursue this for a moment. Journal entry will be deactivated right now and available again after 5 years. Reduce authority, extra radicals from low legitimacy. I'm going to do the first one. And we're going to find out what the heck this is. So, we need to complete 6 reforms. We have 20 years. Long gone are the days when the Iberian Federation was a byword for wealth. Centuries of mismanagement and misfortune have rendered the Iberian economy a shadow of its former self, unable to meet even the most basic demands of the modern age. But as Jesus raised Lazarus from his tomb, so too shall the good men of the Hacienda raise the Iberian economy from its long slumber. For the Iberian Federation's destiny is to be found not in the decrepit empires of yore, but in the strength of tomorrow. So, if completed, triggers the event plus ultra. We march proudly into the future for 20 years, 10% authority, 10 legitimacy, 20% loyalists from high legitimacy, 10% migration attraction. The leader gets extra popularity. Legacy of regeneration is added to interventionism, which is reduced loan interest rate and increased aristocrats, capitalists, and shopkeepers' investment pool contribution efficiency by 25%. Ooh, that's really strong. If timed out, triggers the event of generation, reduced authority, reduced legitimacy, extra radicals from below legitimacy, extra political movement pop attraction. So, let's see what we need to do. Land reform. Curious. Sorry, I think some of these might be pretty easy to achieve. The question of land reform has long been on the lips of Iberian politicians, with some seeking to break the power of the great landowning elites of the south, while others seeking to cement it even further. The time has come for the government to decide and to pursue its course with unwavering resolve. Will complete if at least 12 Iberian states are a Spanish homeland and have an average standard of living greater than 15, which we have achieved, and at least one of these. All of these, we don't have latifundias or serfdom, landowners are not part of the government, and legitimacy is greater than 75, or the opposite. We have latifundias or serfdom, landowners are part of the government, and landowners is the strongest interest group in the government, and legitimacy greater than 75. If completed, we shall decide with the landowners. If completed, if we decide with the landowners, we get extra landowner approval, reduced capitalist investment pool contribution efficiency, increased aristocrat contribution efficiency, and enables law latifundias. If we decide against the landowners, rural folk become happier, reduced strength of aristocrats, increased political strength of farmers. So this one's going to finish immediately. Agriculture. To traverse the less developed regions of the Meseta Central is to step back through time. The plows and tools of the farmers therein remain little changed from those of their ancestors, their yields stunted by practices long abandoned elsewhere. Without reform, the land cannot hope to sustain the prosperity of the Iberian Federation. For 24 consecutive months, we need to have 80% of eligible buildings have steam-powered thresher and fertilizer activated. If completed, every state fulfilling the requirement will get 5% birth rate for 10 years. Will fail if failed in 20 years we failed to do it. Reduce birth rate by 5%. Alright, I can achieve that super easy. Fertilizer plants, get going with improved fertilizers. Staple crops, get going with fertilizers. There's no time to explain. And steam-powered threshers, hell yes. Hell yes, hell yes, hell yes. Oh, and we should get our... I'm gonna get our frickin' plantations on automatic irrigation. This might be a giant mistake. We'll find out. Alright. I completely goober my... Yeah, I did. That's okay. I'm still building a huge pile of motor industries. I'm almost done with this other garbo. Alright. Next. Mining. We need to be lead producer of at least one metal, 40 or greater levels of mines. The Iberian Peninsula is home to large, untapped deposits of raw minerals, rife for exploitation. While the sector currently remains underdeveloped, our chief geologists insist the ground holds enough wealth for us to propel the nation into a new golden era of mining, surpassing even the days of Roman Hispania. If completed, triggers the event Ere the Lark Wakes. We will be able to double the effects of one of the mining refined state traits in Iberia. We get conquest of the underground for 10 years, extra mortality for laborers employed in mines, reduce mortality of engineers employed in mines, extra mines throughput. Will fail if at least if we don't do it. Or we lose all of our states in Basque Country, Asturias, Lower Andalusia, or Murcia. If failed, industrialists bit weaker, reduce mines throughput, capitalists investment pool contribution efficiency lower. Industry. In no place is the Iberian Federation's pre-modernity felt as keenly as in her manufacturing sector. Still largely artisanal in nature, Iberian manufactories have been struggling to compete with cheap foreign goods, save for in a select few localities like Barcelona. By developing a strong manufacturing sector in key locations across our realm, we will be able to turn the tide of foreign economic domination. At least 4 Iberian states need to have 16 levels of light industries or 8 levels of heavy or military industries. And we need 2 prosperous companies, which we've already got. If completed, stronger and happier industrialists. Every state fulfilling the requirements will get 10 years of increased migration traction and manufacturing industries throughput. If we fail it, industrialists mad, reduce manufacturing industries throughput, capitalist investment pool contribution efficiency minus 5%. Railways. We need a level 3 railway in all of our states in the strategic region of Iberia. If completed, extra railway throughput, increased political strength of capitalists, increased capitalist investment pool contribution efficiency. If we fail it, increased political strength of aristocrats, reduced political strength of capitalists, reduced capitalist investment pool contribution efficiency. Oh, sorry, I didn't read the flavor text for this one. Of the many great inventions of this age, few measure up to the raw potential of the steam locomotive. The Iberian interior has long remained relatively isolated from the rest of the country, hemmed in by mountainous terrain, poor road networks, and rivers that are only navigable in part. But where cart and barge have failed, the steam locomotive shall triumph, and every inch of Iberian soil will be connected to the wider market as the port of Bilbao is today. And finally, regeneration colonial. During the so-called Golden Century, much of the Iberian Federation's wealth came from her colonies. While the dynamics of colonialism have changed much since then, certain truths hold as well today as they did then. The ultramar, that's the area across the sea, contains great riches, and we would be fools not to exploit them. Fun fact for the Warhammer 40,000 fans out there, ultramarine, the name of the legion, actually comes from the color, not the other way around. Ultramarine blue was the name of a dye that was produced across the sea, and that's why it was called that. We'll complete if at least 4 Iberian subjects or their subjects is a company or a colonial country. Any Iberian subject is a company with liberty desire less than 25 is greater than 40 plantation buildings. Okay, so we need to... I'm not sure how to do this one. If completed, every colonial subject fulfilling the requirement will get the following modifier. Turkey will get financially integrated colony, reduced liberty desire, extra plantations throughput, 5% capitalist investment pool contribution efficiency. If failed, Cuba, Puerto Rico, and Philippines will get ticking weekly liberty desire. Alright. Whew! That was a lot. So a bunch of these are going to complete. There's land reform. There's industry. This one we need to wait 2 years. Well, this one should be good soon. Alright. Ere the Lark Wakes. The vast Iberian mining investments have borne fruit, and the country's mine pits are abuzz with activity like never before. A particularly successful company has now approached the government with a proposal to improve the mining infrastructure of one of our principal mining districts. Two sharp knocks on the door interrupted the miner's breakfast. He had lingered too long, and the foreman's boy was making the rounds. That damned lickspittle. Kissing his wife goodbye, he slung his sack across his back and stepped into the chill of the early dawn. A somber procession snaked its way from the company town up to the pit head, silent save for the dull clank of metal on metal. 12 hours of toil and darkness awaited. Directed to the rich iron veins of Basque country, improves the iron mine's throughput and migration traction. The sulfur pits of Lower Andalusia could be expanded. Yeah, this is just the same. It's going to be the same. It's extra migration traction and mines throughput. The older lead mines of Murcia are in need of modernization. Doubles that to 30% instead of 15. Nice. Or else but coal, the black gold of Asturias. Alright, so let's take a quick run at our market. Industrial goods. What do we need most? We need most iron. So iron it is. Alright, that's 4 out of 6. How do we do this? Oh, I think we need to turn... Kindly burn this letter. Alfredo de Silva, a member of the Conservative Party, has been accused of gross corruption. He strenuously denied all allegations until damning letters surfaced signed by him. Yes, I'm willing to discuss the content of these letters with the committee, if only I'm given time to study the content of the letters in my private chambers first. Of course, on my honor, I will not alter or destroy any of the evidence. Honest. Conservative Party should stand by Alfredo de Silva and deny everything, reduce momentum by 20%, or he should be isolated to protect the rest of the party. He loses popularity. I'm going to do the first one. Let's cost them some momentum and see how it goes. Lobbyist lectures in Madrid. A man employed by a powerful member of the Anti-British Association is delivering lectures and pamphlets addressed to targeted constituencies in Madrid. One lawmaker writes to a fellow politician, "Each day he finds me. I know not how. I'm quite disturbed. What are his aims? That hired emissary of the Anti-British Association haunts the doors of the Iberian Assembly, much like the ghost of the murdered Banquo. Make it clear lobbies are responsible for the emissaries they hire, extra legitimacy, reduced political strength for the petite bourgeoisie, or any concerns about the emissaries' behavior are unfounded, increased political strength of the petite bourgeoisie." I'm going to go with the first one. Weaker petite bourgeoisie is good for me. Okay, so for colonial, I need to have an additional colonial country. I can't establish one, but only because I'm committed in a diplomatic play. Alright, so I'll be able to sort that out pretty soon. What is this again? Jinadag, right. Right. Alright. So I'll be able to sort that out shortly. Alright, and then we'll have 4 out of 6 reforms. So then we'll have 6 out of 6. So the other one is we can employ creative accounting. This is a weird thing we can do. I'm not going to go through it right now. If this is still running at the beginning of the next episode, I'll go through sort of how it works and what we do. But I've spent enough time on the regeneration event, even as we're standing here. So we're sitting. I'm sitting. I hope you're sitting too. I hope you're very relaxed watching this Let's Play. And if you're not, I hope you're enjoying what you're doing. 2 hours. You're so low on org. Well, it's fine. I'm sure they're going to win. Alright, so now... Oh, we're still in the middle of a... Because we're in a war. Alright, easy peasy. Ooh, North Italian mass migration. Excellent. So this should give us the final push we need to get up above Britain. And I think maybe this is the point at which we become... Oh my goodness. A Bengali liberal revolt. Interesting. Oh, you know, I'm thinking about getting involved, but I don't necessarily wish to get involved. Oh! The time of Pablo... Oh, that's the election. Alright. Conservative Party won it. Brazil sides with Bengal. Lots of national awakenings. Alright, so where are we? We're still in a legitimate government with just the Social Democrats. What the heck happened to the radicals? They bailed out again. I don't actually need to bring the others in, so I won't. Alright. This business in India should have itself sorted soon. Alright. We can establish colonies in Congo, which is here. Nigeria, which is over here, and Senegal, which is really... I'm going to establish a colony in Congo. Alright. That should... Alright, and that should satisfy that. Alright, the nature of the administration. With the establishment of Iberian Congo, we must decide the direction of our new colonial administration. Right, now, take this down. And you remembered your pen this time? Ah, good. So it is in darkest Africa that we come to the now called Iberian Congo, where we can begin the beachhead of true civilization. From there, proper exploitation of resources with the glory of... My God, man, strike me out asking you about your pen. This is for the annals. I like to imagine that in retribution, the scribe wrote, "This is for the annals." It will be administered by a chartered Iberian Congolese company. A chartered company tailored around commerce and private enterprise. Adopts the colonial extraction strategy, extra mines and plantation throughput. Industrialist loses the laissez-faire ideology, gains the colonialist ideology. Oh, that really sucks. You get happier. Or in darkest Africa, a new Iberian Federation shall emerge, tailored around immigration and colonial settlement. Increased migration attraction, extra radicalism for discriminated pops. Armed forces happier. Colonialist is really terrible. Extraction economy is so bad. Let's just do the second one. Wait, hold on. Do I need a particular... Let me put a hold on this for a second to make sure there's... Alright, that's completed. Now it doesn't matter. I'm gonna do the second one. Does that make my armed forces happier? It does! Oh, interesting. I hadn't considered that. Neat. Are they colonizing? I hope they are. Interesting. Anyway. I finished the, gosh dang it. The Procession of Provocation. Dissidents in Cabo Verde have announced plans for a major march around government offices in the near future. While they profess peaceful intentions and claim everyone will be unarmed, the march itself will obviously serve as a rallying point for those unhappy with the government. That damn parade and that infernal music, I can't even see them from here, but I can hear them loud and clear. Stop that march by any means necessary. 33% chance of 10% more radical lower certain pops. 2% more radical pops in general. Or reduced secession progress. Or let the procession go ahead. 50-50 chance of the secession progress goes up or down. 5% of lower certain pops become more radical. I'm going to do the first one. Progress went down. Excellent. Not really that big of an issue, all things considered. Motor industries are being very steadily built. The market is still pretty tight for engines, but you know we're bashing forward towards electric railway. I'm actually going to put electric railway ahead of telephone. Russia sides with Bengal, okay. Because I need those electric railways real bad. In fact, is it more important to go directly to electric railways than it is to deal with the Pabrine thing? I think actually think it is. Because I really, really need the engines. Well discovered in Antioquia. Nice. Alright, currently at 5 months for those buildings. That's good. Now, Brazil. Our truce is over. So, I'm going to wait until this pops off, and then it will be time for me and Brazil to fight. They'll have Bengal on their side and Prussia, but you know, they'll be in the middle of a giant problem, so, you know, it's fine. Alright. That's nothing. Alright. Let's... I wish to liberate Amazonia. Amazonas para Mato Grosso. Amazonas para and Mato Grosso. They might accept. Let's see if they accept. They did not. Alright, I'm going to add another war goal to liberate the Confederation of Equateur. And I'm going to add another war goal to liberate Bahia. Time to get dismembered. Finally, I kind of desire to humiliate them. Yeah, we'll humiliate them. Let's actually mobilize. Let's get all the lads together. I'm going to put the 2nd Iberian Army on the front. They need a new leader. This guy's a positivist aligned with the armed forces. He should be fine. Oh, I think I don't have my trade unions fella. That's why this thing's going so slow. Alright, and then the Iberian Expeditionary Force is also short of dudes. This guy's a Republican. He can have some promotions. Still can't get a trade unions guy. We'll actually put him here and the other... and the 1st army here. Let's bring the Armada over. Oh, the Armada also needs a new fellow. I keep losing dudes. Let me see. You're a Republican, Admiral Candido dos Reis. You're good. You're what I want. Join me. Together we can do stuff in the ocean. Secessionists bomb building. The militant wing of the Afro-Brazilian secession movement have claimed responsibility for an explosion in a government building, announcing that the time for open war is rapidly approaching. Perhaps we cannot decide if there will be a war. Perhaps we cannot even decide when there will be a war. But perhaps our decisions, while trying to exercise control over these issues, will determine who will be on our side when the war comes. Our very nation is threatened by the Afro-Brazilian menace. 15 devastation. Secession movement goes down. 10% of pops become of Afro-Brazilian pops become more radical. Or we will not let this loathsome act ruin the fragile peace we have. Secession minus 10% armed forces and petit bourgeoisie unhappy. 15% devastation. I'm just gonna go with the first one. I don't want to piss off my armed forces on the eve of war. Health system investment up to 4. Very nice. Alright, so probably this secession movement's going to pop off, but, you know, it's okay if it does. Brazilians are fleeing the civil war in Bengal to come and defend their homelands, which it makes sense that they would do that. Do I want to send the Global Defense Force? I don't know yet. If Prussia joins, then Austria will be brought in. Okay, beautiful. Incan Positivist Movement. Oh, that's over here. Alright, so the Global Defense Force will handle this business. Now, sway countries. I can bring in France. But not Austria. Curious. France, what do you want? Venezuela? Well, that's not going to happen. You want Tunisia. You know, France, I don't wish to give up any of my global empire for you. So maybe in this case, the fleet will be used to invade Prussia. Bengal sides of Brazil, that's fine. I don't have a... Oh, but they're going to be over there. Well, we'll send the First Home Guard to guard the front. They're in the middle of their own war, so I'm not particularly... I'm still not particularly worried about this whole situation. I feel I can handle it, and if I can't, then I've been dumb before, and I'll be dumb again later. Let's bring taxation back up to Midland. I should be able to sustainably support all of this once I finish with my current construction, so I'm really not worried. Frontage looks rock solid. If this other thing pops off at the same time, this army will just solve that situation instead. New Angolan Uprising, but it's... But where? It's only in... Here, how curious. I wasn't even thinking about that. That's so curious. Alright, well, we'll continue to support the development of healthy politics in Guaviare. Because Guaviare is going to be part of a new Amazonian state. Can I goober Brazil in any other way? Return state? Against Bengal. That would be extreme. I think that would be stupid. No, I don't wish to steal any of this stuff. I don't desire any of this. Alright, beautiful. So, we're taking a run at Brazil. How long have I been playing? I'm at over 3 hours already. I'm at over 3 hours and I haven't even hit 05 yet. This is brutal. Oh, well, that's fine. I don't need to humiliate Prussia. I was thinking about humiliating Prussia. But I don't need to. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Brazil has formed a united front. Well, it's not going to be united much longer. No. I need more power in this here state. Yeah, I need 4 levels. Alright. It is what it is. My army's pretty lightweight for a late-game army, I must say. 2 arms. Where are you at? Oh, you're just on your way to the front. There's the Incan Positivist Revolt. I feel extremely confident in my ability to handle this in the medium term. So let's set our strategic objective to Rio de Janeiro, their capital. There's the incompositivist revolt sorted. Iberian Global Defense Force will actually put them on the main front. In this situation with the new Angolan uprising, actually, no. You're going to be naval invading New Angola. But before we do that, the first Iberian army will be naval invading in Pomerania once again. What's the Prussian capital now? Well, it's over here. Well, that'll make it even easier to take that territory unopposed. Ooh, got the destroyer. Not a tech that I'm super bullish on, but it is what it is. It's still nice to have. Alright, so once Brazil's been thoroughly dismembered, I can start taking separate of those other countries that I've just freed, but more importantly, I can also start, I can also move to take a protectorate over Brazil itself, and that will be nice. And then I'll be able to hopefully have all of Latin America under my control. Wow, Prussia seems really poorly defended. I should have stolen states. That would have been silly. It would not have been wise policy, but it would have been extremely funny. Still short on steel. How are we doing with porcelain, though? Porcelain is moderately expensive, but it's being... we're exporting so much of it. Legislation imposed on Venezuela refused. Why? What is going on with you, Venezuela? Venezuela? Gosh dang it, you're still doing slavery? You're still doing land and voting? You goobers? Cut it out. Still working on refined steel, but that should be going soon. Alright, 12 months for agricultural regeneration. We just need that for another 12 months, and then we should have our economic regeneration completed. And that will be nice. That'll be cool and good. How's the market doing overall? We got someone's making cars. Someone's making cars. Combustion engine, was this even in the list? It's not in the list, but it should be. Maybe at some point. We'll have ourselves a combustion engine situation. Alright, we are making progress in Parana. It's a process, but we're doing it. It's a process, but we're doing it. Excuse me, sir, where are you going? You're needed at the front, sir. Sir, you're needed at the front. Alright, how's this invasion going? This invasion seems to be going quite well. So once this army is landed, we'll grab this fleet, and we'll invade New Angola. And we'll take that, and that'll be good. And then after that, we'll get an invasion of Prussia going through the other way, so that we can get to their capital in the Rhineland and devour them. And that will be the end of Prussia's involvement in the war. Now, Bengal is actually in the process of losing to their revolution right now. So I don't think they're going to be able to participate in any way which is meaningful. Yeah, I incidentally timed this really well. It's already February of 1905. Should be making good progress towards Rio de Janeiro. We need to take Sao Paulo. And after that, I don't think it'll matter if we're able to take the rest of this stuff, because once we've got the capital, I think you can liberate whatever you want to liberate. Alright, so now let's grab the Global Defense Force and invade here. Oil in Alto Paraguay, very nice. Alright. I'm going to station this force in... Oh, no, they're already there. They're fine. They're good. They got it sorted. I'm going to leave them there for the time being. I think that just makes sense. How are things going in Guaviare? The Bengali Liberal Revolt now leads the Grand Coalition. Okay, alright, so the Bengali... So this is Bengal now. And this army needs to be here, which is where they were supposed to be before. Now, does Bengal have a war goal? They don't. So they're just here to goof up this area, which sucks. Dancing on wheels. A roller skating rink has opened in Madrid, presenting a new, exciting form of entertainment for the urban classes. A craze? Yes, of course it is. Where else could you see a millionaire in diamonds and silk fall on his bottom, laugh like a madman, and then do it all again? A spot of well-needed whimsy, extra urban center employee standard of living, or an easy way to forget one's demons. 2% of middle-strand pops in Castilla and Nueva become more loyalist. I'm going to do that second one. Urban center throughput doesn't seem to ever really be useful to me. At least I'm devastating Prussia. All right, so now Bengal is involved, but also that's not necessarily. I bet you are, but that's not necessarily bad. We had enough time to crush Prussia and to deal with our other civil war that we were having at the same time. And these fronts have split. Let's go ahead and grab this army and this other army. Electrical capacitors, nice. Prussia's war support is going down at a very rapid rate, with me having conquered so much of their eastern core. So that front should be ended relatively soon. Meanwhile, my front here, I'm going to put these folks on defense and simply hold down the front. There's the end of that. So now we'll grab the Iberian Global Defense Force and we'll put them on this front as well. I'll put them on defense. And that should be able to hold against Bengal and have them just throw casualties downrange at us until that thing is sorted. These fronts have now merged. We'll set the capital as our target. Force comparison there doesn't look as good, but keep in mind... Greece wishes to join the Latin Commercial League. Absolutely. I would be delighted with that. How is that going to affect our dear old power block? I suppose we'll find out. I hope cohesion stays high. You're still in your own market, right? Or no, we're united. We're a trade league, right? That's automatically a market together. All right, making good progress in Sao Paulo. If we can take it, then we'll be on the edge of the capital, but also the enemy's forces are on their way here. On the other hand, Westpreußen is almost fully taken, and then Ostpreußen will be soon after. And Prussia has bailed out of the war. Wonderful. Alright, so that means First Iberian Army can come to the main front. And that's going to significantly improve the force comparison there. We've got the synthetic solution event once again. I'm just going to say a worthy investment in this time of crisis again. Because I love doing that. And Bengal has bailed out of the war, so that doesn't really affect anything now. Alright, well, let's devour Bhavnagar, shall we? Is anyone going to try to stop me? I don't think so. As long as I got an army there already. And then Brazil. That might have been a mistake, because I'm still sort of fully mobilized here in Brazil. Oh boy, Vicky 3 is running real slow. They're doing their best. It's doing its best, my nerds. They're trying. Ooh, Zeppelins. Excellent. That's fun. I do love a Zeppelin. Hey, can some of y'all go for the capital so that we can win the war and remove the enemy's war support protection? Can some of y'all do that? No? Okay. Sure would be based if you could go to the place where you can actually. There's another way to do this. Oh, this fleet needs another leader again. Ah, trade unionist. Wonderful. No experience, but politically connected? You're perfect. Let's invade with the First Iberian Army. That's what we're going to do. And then these other two armies can attack this way as much as they like, because we'll be in the capital and all will be well. Perfect. Is it wise to naval invade a location that you're already on the border of attacking by land? I think so. Worked at Anzio, right? It eventually worked at Anzio. Lacustrine Bantu National. Very cool. Bhavnagar supporting separatism. No one is surprised by this. Well, I had an army down here for a while. Oh, right, because they didn't have a front. Let's just put you folks here. And you, sir, need to be on attack. Aha, I didn't forget to put them back on attack this time. I'll tell you what. Alright, well now we're on our way to the capital. Well, one way or another we got there. Or we're getting there. We are in the process of getting there. And not a moment too soon. As we go into, as we head into our... Oh man, we're almost at 3.5 hours. I think this might be the longest episode I've ever recorded, or at least it's closing in on being the longest episode I've ever recorded. Pembrey now breaking Gujarat. I'm going to invest into a potential solution. Throw some money at that. That's going to get us progress on pasteurization, which we should be... No, we don't have actually that much progress on that yet. But them's the breaks. I finished out the tier 2s. We're hurtling towards electric railway. Just trundling forward towards electric railway. Austria going after Moldavia to make them a protectorate. I didn't realize they weren't independent. Or I didn't realize they were independent already. Ostracized. Ah, really? So the Austrians and the Russians are shooting at each other now. Or going to be. You want my help there, Austria? I gotta assume they do. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. If they ask for my help, I'll have the ability to lend it. And we'll see what I can get out of that, in fact. And we'll see what finishes first, the war in Bhavnagar or the war in Brazil. Because I think Brazil is getting to the point where they'd be willing to make peace. At least I hope they would. Not yet, but we're getting there. Up in the air. The De Brito Camacho airship has been selected as the very special venue for an upper-class ball. The most distinct members of the nation have expressed their opinions on this grandiose machine. From this height, the horizon is but a golden necklace, carefully tight around the vibrant blues of the sea. Dinner is coming, and the restaurant is filled with light smoke and deep voices. May I offer you a seat, miss? I shall not dare to write down my name, for some of us have secrets that cannot follow beyond land. The brassy sound of cutlery follows the last heartbeats of the sun in rhythmic valediction, systole, diastole. Such a shameful eccentricity. This is a scouting war machine. Extra offense for 2 years. Look at those velvet cushions and those painted silk walls. Stronger and happier petite bourgeoisie and industrialists. Or if only the space was used for goods instead of passengers. Extra trade capacity. We're going to get the extra offense. Heck yeah, extra army offense. If we get called into this thing with Russia and Austria, oh boy. Maybe I'll steal Finland. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. General's misfired cannon. Okay, hold on. I want to get this done, and then I'll close out the war with Brazil, and then we'll put a pin in the episode. Oh my goodness, colonial exhibition in Madrid. There's so many events happening. Oh my goodness. There's even a lock, regeneration. Really for me. Having successfully carried out the regeneration reform program, the government is receiving praise even from her most embittered opponents. With a steady hand, the minister opened the great ledger and glanced once more at the figures within. To what degree they could be trusted, he was not entirely certain. But that mattered little beside the public jubilation they were sure to inspire. No, he thought, that reckoning could be left to the children of tomorrow. Today belonged to him. The Iberian Federation marches proudly into the future. Beautiful. So, 10% authority, 10 legitimacy, 20% loyalists from high legitimacy, extra migration attraction. Manuel de Brito Camacho becomes more popular. Legacy of Regeneration is added to interventionism, and Legacy of Regeneration is, once again, minus 20% loan interest rate and 25% increased aristocrat, capitalist, and shopkeeper investment pool contribution efficiency. The success of the regeneration has led to a surge in investor confidence. So long as the state remains on its current course, it will have capital to spare. Hell yes. Alright. Just let this battle... This should be the last battle here. Then we'll close out the other war. And then we'll all be in good stead. Short on telephones, interesting. Oh my goodness. Stop dropping events, Vicky 3. I'm trying to do a thing. Alright, beautiful. So, there's that. Brazil. Get stopped. Nice. Alright, and now, General's misfired cannon. An affair between Enrique Paiva Cosero and Prospero Campomanes, his spouse, has reached our ears, threatening to impact his public image if we don't destitute the general. As if being caught in the act wasn't enough, Enrique Paiva Cosero stepped from the bath to see a telltale rash spreading. There was only one liaison he was seeing, now there was no denying it. Not after the general's very flesh betrayed the affair. We still need a general, and these are personal matters. 10% chance Campomanes becomes an alcoholic. Cosero gets syphilis, and the armed forces get unhappy. Or we cannot trust a man like this. Campomanes gets syphilis, Cosero will step down. Armed forces happier. I'm going to do the second one. That's fine. I can live with that. Colonial exhibition in Madrid. An exhibition displaying the wealth of our colonies across the world has been held in Castilla and Nueva, drawing in visitors with displays of exotic animals, natural resources, and ethnological expeditions of Mande peoples in a simulated native village. Our race, we think, is depressed enough, without exhibiting one of us with the apes. We think we are worthy of being considered human beings with souls. James H. Gordon. Astounding and educational, 2% of middle strata pops become more loyalist. Or perhaps these human displays are excessive. Trade unions stronger and happier by a lot. Armed forces, rural folk, petite bourgeoisie, intelligentsia, and landowners unhappy. I'm clicking that second button. Everybody big mad. Can't help it. All my interest groups love racism. The despot of St. Petersburg opposed the arbitrary and illiberal rule of the Tsar of Russia. The intelligentsia have fallen in with the Anti-Russian Association. To all those who cherish liberty, Russia, under the boot of that pernicious Tsar, stands out as an example of the very worst excesses of despotism. In no country is the indomitable right of every soul to strive towards its own destiny obstructed as it is in Russia, and in no country is a greater threat to be found to our own liberty than in Russia. Russia must fall, for if it does not, we will fall in her place. Down with tyrants, down with Russia. Intelligentsia joins the Anti-Russian Association, or sometimes firm hand is needed to govern well. Intelligentsia become pissed off. The thing about the intelligentsia is they are not a meaningful force in our politics. So I'm going to do the second one to get them to shut the fuck up. Alright, now, our main armies are stuck. They're on their way to locations. But hopefully, when they arrive in those locations, that will allow them to sort themselves out. We have a truce with Brazil. Is that an event? It is. Another event. Why always these events? Alright, let me just get past it into the next week, and then we'll close out. I promise, we're going to close out. Amazonia, we do have a truce for the full 5 years. Alright, so I can't simply devour them right away, but I will be able to eventually. Brazil, still technically a great power. But they're falling. They're falling quite a bit. So they'll fall from great power soon. And then my turn. My time will come to eat them. Eat them. Insubordinate jingoists. An officer in our African colonies has intentionally provoked a confrontation with Mandinka, despite instructions to keep the peace. We can either save face by going along with the officer's plot, or recall him, admit that we lost control of the situation, and upset the jingoists. Never mind the missives of weak-minded fools in the capital. Everything I've accomplished here during these campaigns was done in spite of the ministry, and not because of it. We have no choice but to attack Mandinka, increase his tensions, or recall the officer and end the madness, reduce authority, or reduce prestige, armed forces unhappy. I'm going to do the first one. That just makes sense. I've got a little bit of authority to play with. I'm going to cancel my road maintenance decree in Baviera, and I'm going to put in some consumption taxes. We can do luxury clothes and coffee. Whew, alright. It's been a long episode, but we've accomplished many and various goals. We are still rocketing towards the end of the game. It's probably going to be 3 more episodes if I can continue to sustain this pace of recording. If not, it's going to be 4. But yeah, things have been going pretty well. Finally got Turkey as a subject. Can I turn? Yeah, Serbia. You're going to be a puppet, and that I think might be my last. Yeah, they're all either puppets or colonies now. Beautiful. We are also well on our way to having full control over Latin America. We have Los Altos still free. We have Guyana still in the hands of various European powers, but Brazil has been balkanized. Uruguay still needs to be taken. And once that's done, my western, my transatlantic empire will be once again complete. That is all we've got time for this episode, my nerds. I have had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I will see you on the other side.